Greetings, cyberspace cadets. Welcome for an edition of Whipped Cream. It's 0.04. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and I'm going to do gossipy drama shit with my co-host here, Sir Adamantine. Say howdy, brother.
Greetings, everyone.
All right, and we were just sitting here talking. There's a, thank God for Twitter, because there's never a lack for shit to talk about. So we were looking at some stuff, and Sir Adamantine and I had talked about this. Check this out. All right. I was actually listening to Kumite earlier, and this came up, and I wanted to explore it a little bit. This is from The Atlantic. It says, when white nationalists get DNA test results that reveal African ancestry. And it says the White Nationalist Forum of Stormfront hosts discussions on a wide range of topics, from politics to guns to Lord of the Rings, and of particular enduring interest to genetic ancestry tests. For white nationalists, DNA tests are a way to prove their racial purity. And of course, their results don't always come back that way. And how white nationalists try to explain away non-European ancestry is rather illuminating on their beliefs. 2 years ago, before Donald Trump was elected president, before the white nationalism had become a central point of the conversation, Aaron Panofsky and Joan Donovan, sociologists, University of California, LA, sent out a study, a Stormfront forum post about genetic ancestry tests, and they presented their study at the American Sociological Association meeting this Monday. Preprint of the paper is now available online, and this was published in August. Okay, and so it turns out that, and that was from the Atlantic, a totally non-biased, a totally non-biased source of pure, just beautiful and.
Well, I'll give
reliable news.
I'll give the Atlantic credit for one thing. I mean, they're undeniably leftist, but they're not as bad as a lot of them.
That's true, but it's obvious that they didn't have this information with them, because it turns out that that a majority of the results that people that have been pegged as white supremacists on social media, such as Facebook and Twitter, etc., they got falsified information back from their test results, and it was stuff saying that they either had African American blood or they had Jewish ancestry deep back, and so that's causing a little bit of storm. And I was, not to pun or anything, but and it says one of the major ancestry testing companies spilled the beans on what happens when you purchase the ancestry kit. It says, and I'm reading, this is from InfoWars, and this is it's from Squawker, actually, and just to screw with racist sites of like Ancestry.com and 23andMe have always gone to different sources, and those sources have been falsifying. So and that's just come out in the past couple of days.
Well, if that's true, that's going to be a big problem for Ancestry, and it's also, if it's true, it's extremely ironic, because if I recall correctly, I think Ancestry.com is related to the Mormon Church, which is about as white gets.
Exactly. That's what I was, that's something a lot of people don't understand, is that Ancestry, the whole database, was started by the Church of Latter-day Saints to trace your ancestry back to Joseph Smith and to the original, group of settlers that went back, with him across west to, finally settle in Utah. And I'm glad that you're backing me up on that stuff, because that's I had read that too. So yeah, there's potential litigation out the yin yang for these guys, because how are you going to attest that your product is worth a shit? If you've got idiots, well, people that are just have pegged these, and these are like based on but you know, we don't know what kind of information people are using. You know, these are you know, they're I would guess they're white people that are having their, you know, their DNA results falsified by people that have just decided that they were racist. And you know, it could be anything from seeing like a, you know, like a Confederate flag bumper sticker on somebody's car, I guess. I mean, I don't know. How do you test for racism? You know, by looking at Facebook and Twitter.
I don't know, but I mean, boy, if you're a DNA company and you're providing bad information, that's like being a car company that sells cars that don't move.
Exactly. It's crazy, isn't it? And so, yeah, I guess we'll just sit back and see what the hell happens on that thing. There's a lot of familiar faces in the live chat, and you know, that's hello to Fat Man 50. He turns up and all the cool places. Jack of all, of course, our bud Scott McInnes, and oh, Fox the Wary Fox, howdy girl. And I see Uzi Q, of course, my better half, just saying hey.
I think Alfred's hanging out there somewhere too.
Yes. Yeah, I thought I saw Ian Wolf.
Yep, he's there too.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right, folks. Let's so any kind of feedback y'all provide, we'll gladly glean it and get some kind of and Bass Trap Kayla, my favorite trap on the planet, has showed up. So the party is now starting. They can now start.
And Skep Talk, he was the first one here. Yeah,
BTK and Skep Talk are here. You know that it's happening. And Shadow Cat, holy shit! Now we're picking up.
And Outlaw Wolf.
Everybody is welcome. All right, it's good to see these folks. All right. So, have we got anything else to talk about that? About the ancestry thing? I just thought when I heard it, I was like, holy shit, man. That is so crazy.
And Alfred just said, if they're faking tests, does that mean that Irate Bear is not black?
I don't know. See, man, I'm one of those people that is like, I am not going to trust my DNA to anybody. You know, I'm not. It's like my dad wanted to do that stuff, you know, with Ancestry.com, and I said, "Are you an idiot? You're going to sign away the rights to your fucking to the building blocks of who you are to some complete strangers?"
Yeah, I agree with you. I was interested in this before this came out, but I wasn't willing to give up my DNA either. So I just tried to convince one of my sisters that I don't like to do it instead.
Oh, so what did you determine?
Which I haven't heard back from her. I don't know if she did or not.
So there's no Griffin DNA. You're not sure of anything.
Well, I don't know if there's literal Griffin DNA, but you know, the black boxes are of similar size.
He's referring to that black box between his legs. If anybody hasn't figured that out, so
I think that may be what I'm best known for.
And that may be one of the most genius avatars on the planet today. It's my assessment of the situation. So yes. It says, so Wary Fox, Foxy the Wary Fox, she says they already have my DNA. The military has my DNA. No joke, anyone in the military already has their DNA on file. Yeah, it may be on file, but can they literally do whatever they want to with it? See, what I would imagine that, you know, while you're active, well, I guess that's true. And Skep Talk says it's pretty easy to get DNA. You know, just follow somebody and wait for them to throw away a soda can or a cigarette, and that's true. But there's no paper that says, you know, that I have given anybody permission to use that DNA. That's the difference.
You know, it's not nearly as bad, but maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, my employer decided that they needed to have all of their employees have FBI background checks, and that included giving them my fingerprints, which I was not real pleased about.
Right. So nothing came back.
No, I've never been caught.
That's right. That's right. And Fat Man 50 says, "Oh no, we are going to be cloned." And yes, that is a possibility. It's like, it's the last thing I want, though, is a clone of me running around.
I don't know if the world could handle two.
I don't either. That baffles me. Even thinking about that scares me.
Luckily, we'll be dead before things like this become a real problem.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because, you know, it's like there's a whole branch of law that's opening up, you know, bioethics and, you know, bio law. It's going to get weird. You know, they've got these, you know, 3D printers now that can print body parts, you know, they can map out. All they've got to do now is get a point to where it'll be a tissue match, and they're working on that, you know. And
what they're working on is taking some stem cells out of you, and then using those to build an organ,
right?
Which would have no chance of rejection because it's you,
right?
Which could come in handy liver-wise for me one day.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about, you know, for my, you know, given my history too, the same thing, because you never know. And Mercolium says, "IRATE Prostate, you can 3D print a suicide pod." And I'm not sure I know what that is. Oh, dude, that's from the the Devil's Advocate. If anybody hasn't heard of it, Mercolium is the master of ceremonies of this really fun game show that comes on every Sunday, and it's called the Devil's Advocate, and the idea is to get a group of people and put them on teams of pro and con, and you have to argue whether you're pro or con. If you're on the team, you have to argue that side of a myriad of subjects, and you know, and they are all ethically challenging, you know, for both sides. There's no safe stance to take in that game, and that's what makes it so fun. And you know, any kind of facts you have to throw completely out too. Those aren't accepted. Oh, there's an actual suicide pod that you can print. That's legit. Oh, that sounds spooky, man.
It sounds like a lot of work just to kill yourself.
No doubt. It's like, okay, all right. It's been 3 days. I'm waiting for it to print out, you know, piece by piece. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but the only 3D printer I can afford right now is, you know, the kind that can, you know, make, you know, small pieces and, you know, things about 2 or 3 inches, you know, and I can't really afford that shit. So anyway,
you know, those are one of those things that sound like a lot of fun, but if you get one, it's like, well, what do I do with it?
No doubt.
That's like I almost bought a drone a couple different times, but I've like thought about it, and I'm like, you know, if I buy this, I'm going to fly it once, and then it's never going to fly again.
Just like to go around your neighbors and spy around, and you know.
Well, there is a neighbor I'd like to kind of chase down all of the birds with one, but other than that, can't think of a use for it.
Yeah. You know, just see if anybody tries to shoot at it. That's what I would do, is try to annoy people. We out here in the country, you get bored easy.
Yeah, if I lived in the country and I saw a drone, I'd take the shotgun to it.
Indeed. I'll say hey to Sir Wolfie out there. Hey man, I saw your video today. That's a good thing you're stepping up and you know, support your family there, man. Back you up 100%, dude. Yenwolf says we can clone animals without brains and use the bodies for meat and ending hunger and hunting. Close. I missed it. Moved up on me. Bodies ending hunger and hunting. Because clone things like tusks and horns and flood the black market with them. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about. You're always thinking outside of the box, you know, Wolf. I like that about you. Okay. All right, I guess we'll move on from the ancestry thing. I think we've milked it for about as much as we can get out of it.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun ones to come.
Oh yes. Well, do you want to save the juicy one for last, or I mean the one that everybody's been talking about, or do you want to go ahead and
you're the master of ceremonies here. So.
Well, we can talk about. I guess let's go ahead and pull the trigger on Patreon. And speaking of, if you're into it, I'm gonna put a link in here to my Streamlabs, and I'd appreciate if somebody just check it out and see if it works. And if you think I'm worth something, you know, throw a little at me. It couldn't hurt. Put it that way. You know, I'm not one to be begging, so. But you know, I can't because of YouTube, #YouTube. I can't exactly get super chats or anything. So if you do throw me, I'll be glad to read whatever you want me to. I'm reading it anyway, so you know. So it's talking about Patreon. So last week they sent out an email. I don't know. Did you get one, Sir Adamantine?
I did. And before this even became a thing, after I read it, I'm like, these condescending, self-righteous bastards.
What was that?
That was my cat.
Oh, dude. Okay. I thought somebody was saying Thor in the background. Had a mini flashback there.
My cat gets possessive of me whenever I'm on the computer.
We went back to Florida Bill's dorm room, 1981, listening to Rush. But now that's gone. So flashback over. All right. So yeah, tell me. All right. Give me your take on the
impression I got when I got the original email telling me about these changes, where you're self-righteously telling us what's good for us. It really came off as heavy-handed and condescending at the same time.
It's amazing. It's amazing all the people that just know exactly what we need and what's good for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're coming from a patron. See, you know, I'm on the other side of that. You know, being a content creator. You know, it looked like to me like they were giving y'all the shaft and kind of bragging on it, you know, and saying, well, but we are giving you content creators just a little bit more, you know. And I was like, well, fuck, I liked it the other way, to be honest with you, you know, and that way you weren't yanking money out of the pockets out of the patrons who are kind enough, you know, to you know, throw me, you know, $6 a month, you know, and I appreciate every penny of it, man. It feels wonderful to get that money, you know, when I get the email for it. You know, it feels great. And now, you know, it's like, well, okay, we're going to punish these guys for doing this stuff because, you know, obviously if they'll throw you $5, they'll throw you, you know, $5.50 or, you know, whatever it was. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then yesterday I saw that Gulf City, they had, gone to this new place, and I had it pulled up. And I went ahead and set up my, you know, my account there too. And what were you going to say?
I don't remember. Keep going.
Well, we were talking about the Patreon thing, and I was trying to remember exactly what the name of this place was. I'm gonna pull up my history in here because I'm a waterhead, and it's a brand new place.
The makers.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. Yeah, Makers Support. That's it. Yeah, Makers Support. And
which, by the way, I'm switching all of the people that I Patreon over to that. And in fact, I think even if some of them don't, if some of them won't open an account with them, I think then they're just going to be out of luck.
Right. You know, and that's what I would say is, like, you know, if you don't care enough about your patrons to go ahead and move, you know, no matter what they say, you know, you're really being an arrogant fucker. Okay.
Well, I mean, the thing about this that irritated me, it's not the price. I mean, it's an incidental difference in what it would cost me. It's the smugness, and
right.
then And then IRATE Bear, I think he's the first person I heard about the maker one from. And then I saw a video from Dave Cullen about them. And the reason why I'm switching everything at this point, I mean, even with the Patreon reversal, is they seem to be a much more likable company. Or at least their philosophy seems to be something I approve of a lot more.
Yeah, they're very friendly. It's like, you know, I'm on the homepage right now for me, and it's just a very nice, you know, there's not a lot of frills, not a lot of bells and whistles, and I don't mind that, man. You know, some of these places, they just get too ridiculous, and it's just too busy, and it's too complex, man. And it's like, you know, I'm a semi-Luddite. I'm not a complete Luddite, I wouldn't say, but you know, it's like sometimes these things get to a point of where it's like I had to, you know, get somebody to talk to somebody into helping me with my Discord, because that thing was just, you know, getting crazy on me. You know, it's like, you know, I don't have to, you know, I don't have the time to sit down and really study the thing with my, and especially with my ADD acting up, man. It's just, it's a motherfucker, you know.
I think they've probably been very good at taking advantage of this Patreon situation too, because just as an example, I was trading tweets with IRATE Bear asking about like which one gives you more, I think was my question. And before he could even answer me, they replied to me.
You're kidding.
Just, you know, fairly impressive.
Yeah. And, you know, that's really interesting that you bring that up, because, you know, remember we were talking about another YouTuber, the one that we usually stream with on Saturdays. I don't. We had brought his name. Yeah, we had brought his name up in a DM, and as soon as that happened, you know, it was really weird. On my YouTube feed, it all went to his stuff. On the Roku channel, and I thought that was just really strange, man. That, you know, you and I were talking about it on Twitter. Think about that.
We're all being listened to all the time.
They know.
Or it might just be because he's been putting out a lot of videos lately.
That's true. And then there's that. Thanks for shooting me down there, Dad. Everybody needs to look like a.
I don't want you to get too far into conspiracies until we have our next conspiracy stream. I don't want you to exhaust them all. Oh,
that's how, dude. That's like trying to exhaust oxygen on this planet. I mean, hey. There's something new every day. Looks like we got some activity though. Twitter is a lit.
Really?
So yeah, well, it's just all kinds of stuff.
Well, let's finish up the Patreon thing first, I guess. For those of you who didn't see it, Patreon reversed itself today, and if you look through their tweet and especially the responses and their replies to the responses, this must have seriously blown up in their face, because boy, are they bootlicking.
Well, you see, yesterday, I think, you know, when I went to Maker Support, it was because, you know, it's like I'd seen a tweet. You know, I'd seen a tweet from you know, Gulf City, and I said, well, hell, man, that's a great idea. So I'm not the only one, I don't think, that saw that. You know, and I think there may have been like some kind of like mini mass migration, you know, just out of the, you know, the people, the content creators that, you know, that follow the Gulf City guys. So, and that would be Ghastly and AP the Frog, also known as Angry Pape. Yeah, they acknowledge me, so I feel special. I was looking for the Patreon tweet, and it has already been buried, man. This is amazing how fast that shit goes. But I'll pull them up here. See.
Well, you're pulling that up. Foxy, this is the cat that's already half yours, remember? The other one's half Viper's. This one's half yours.
Oh, here it is. All righty. And this is the blog, okay? So it says, creators and patrons, we've heard loud and clear, and we're not going to roll out the changes to our payment system that we announced last week. We still have to fix the problems that those changes addressed, but we're going to fix them in a different way. and we're going to work with you and come up with the specifics as we have done for the first, as we should have done the first time around. Okay. Many of you lost patrons as you lost income. No apology will ever make up for that. Nevertheless, I'm sorry. It is our core belief that you should own the relationships with your fans. These are your businesses. These are your fans. And no shit.
Yeah, amazing how they only come to that point of view after, again, it explodes in their face. They didn't seem so concerned about the relationship then.
No, they didn't give a rat's ass, you know, day before yesterday. You know, because it was, I had been, as a matter of fact, I had talked with Uzi about, you know, what to do about this thing. Because I was really feeling guilty that, because it's like anybody that's going to go out of their way to even, you know, throw a couple of shekels at me per month, you know, for my content, man, that honors me, and that reinforces me. And to take, you know, and to possibly, you know, take that out of the hands of my patrons, you know, it's just, I would rather have done that than, you know, I would rather said, fuck it, you know, y'all just, you know, quit giving, because, and I was, you know, I had prepared, you know, something to, you know, an email to that effect, because I was ready to, just go ahead and say, fuck this shit. It just, my conscience wouldn't stand it. And, you know, and the couple of patrons that I do have, they're really good people, and I'm sure they wouldn't have minded it, but it's just, it's the principle of the thing. And now, you know, Patreon is coming back, you know, you're right. They must have really got kicked in the balls on this thing, because they are really contrite. And I just, you know, it's too little too late, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Too little, too late. I mean, they've already shown what they truly think.
Indeed.
Now they're only showing what they have to do for damage control.
Right. You know, it's like the man that, you know, tells his wife her ass is fat, and then he hits her when she burns dinner, and then, you know, she's leaving him, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll change, honey. You know, I promise I'll, you know, whatever. You know, you can only take enough abuse. You know, and I don't know about you, but I've seen this type of behavior come from companies, and I know that's, you know, that salvo is the first salvo, you know.
Even in one of their explanations, they're still planning on finding a way to get more money.
Exactly. Well, the point is that, like, you know, they're gonna hit the patron, right, and then they'll hit the content creator, you know, coming on down the road. Well, we're going to take another 3%, you know, since we're getting you know, you're getting 95% of what we're giving you. You know, we can take, you know, another 2 or 3% of that, and that should be enough, right? Because you were getting 85% of what your patron was giving you. You know, they were, you know, playing fast and loose, you know, especially with the language that they were using. It was like, you know, this fucking little magic show they were trying to put on here. You know, I've got 3 in this hand and 4 in this hand, and then I put them together, and look, there's 6. You know, where'd that other one go? It's in your fucking pocket, right?
You know, I wouldn't want to be one of these companies anyway, because it's a business that can very easily and will be replaced by banks.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go into my bank account, and if I have the proper information, I can send money to any other bank account through the same bank, and they're switching it so you'll be able to do it to any other bank, pretty much, or at least all the big ones, and that's free. You can accomplish the same thing with no fees.
Exactly. And that's the exact point. I'm sure there's like so many different ways that they can profit from this, you know, from this whole situation, you know, through partnerships with, you know, either advertising or, you know, working with, you know, other companies like Google or, Twitter, or things like that. I don't know. I don't get paid those big CEO bucks, to make those kind of decisions. But I definitely understand it. When when they make the decision, to hurt the people that are taking money out of their pocket, and that they worked hard for, and saying, here, man, I think you're doing a good job. Appreciate it. So that's kind of where I'm at on this thing. I'm kind of glad that I pulled the trigger on on this maker support thing, and that if my patrons follow me, that's good, and if they don't, I understand it too, man.
I haven't looked into it in great detail yet. I mean, I signed up for it, but from what I've heard, apparently there are a lot of better. There's a lot better ability to communicate with people on maker support than there is on Patreon.
Yeah. And apparently someone has tried to make a thing on my Streamlabs, and I don't have it set up correctly. So, whatever. I'll figure it out one day.
There goes the hundreds and hundreds of dollars you would have raked in today.
It's okay. It's okay. Keep your money, folks. I'm here for the yucks and for the attention. So I'm not gonna lie. It's all these people have all these noble reasons for doing their stuff, man. And it's like, fuck it, I just want to be in the spotlight. That's all.
Those are the YouTubers I can't stand.
The ones that you can't stand me now.
No. The ones who fully admit they're just here for ego or entertainment or what have you. It's the ones who try to act like a saint. In fact, some of the ones who even use the word saint in some of their well, whatever.
Wonder where you're going with that one.
Don't worry, I won't go too far down that road.
Well, we're going to have to cross it in a little bit because I've got some stuff pulled up. Yeah, this is a dig me kind of thing, man. There's no sense of me lying about it. And the people that do have, sincere, reasons and aspirations, behind their YouTube careers, it's like, more power to you, man. I can't lie to my people. I'm just another one of these schmoes in the chats with all these wonderful people in the chats, man. We're just hanging out and talking and stuff. And, I don't want to, that's kind of like what I like about this deal is I get to get on the other side of the camera and voice my opinions. And, hopefully I can encourage some of these people that I hang out in chats with to do the same damn thing, man, because I want to hear your voices too. I want to know what you're like, because you're really fun to stream with. I met Sir Adamantine. He and I, we did this wonderfully drunken stream together a couple months ago, and we ended up having a fantastic, that whole deal. If we added it all together, it would have been 6 hours total, maybe 5 or 6 hours.
Not the stream. In fact, well, first of all, you were being overly generous the way you described it. What it really was I was watching an IRATE Prostate stream, and he had two people on it who I knew. And I was stupid drunk at that point. So I just nagged him until he let me on. And I think your stream was mostly over by the time I got on. I mean, maybe less than an hour probably that I was on it. All of those extra hours he's talking about, that was just him and I talking after the stream was over.
Yeah, and it was cool. We really hit it off. We have a lot of similar we have a lot of similarities, man, and that's just what makes this thing special, is that we find kindred spirits here on this beautiful internet, this digital highway. This yeah, Uzi Q is just like calling bullshit on me, and she's right. I am full of shit, and I'll admit it. All right, and it seems like the more I admit I'm full of shit, the more people are. So it's like, I'm full of shit. I'm full of shit. I'm full of shit. So maybe we'll get some more folks in here. All right. So are you ready to, we've we've spanked Patreon for being the cunts that they are.
What's next?
Well, the whole Kilroy debacle and the fallout from it. Do you want to start from, talking about this thing, or you want me to, or
like an overview?
Yeah, man. Yeah, just.
Well, the other day, I think it was yesterday. If it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. Tim, what's Tim's last name?
You would ask me that, man.
I suck with names. Tim, with the Timcast guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can't recall his last name at the moment, but I'm sure you all know who he is. He sends out some tweets about the non-disclosure and non-compete documents that need to be signed if you're going to be a speaker at the Kilroy event. And basically, I mean, to paraphrase, he basically says they're pretty absurd. And he eventually makes a video about it too. And the people in charge of Kilroy are basically Based Mama and Dave Cullen. Thank you, Alfred Keith, Tim Pool. And Uzi too, thanks. So Based Mama and Dave Cullen don't really say anything for the first day or so of this. And it's just kind of hanging out there, and a lot of people are speculating about it and taking sides on it. And Dave released an interesting video today explaining his side of things, and it almost raises more questions than it answers, because
yeah, and I want you to put the brakes on him right there, because and then during all of this, there was a lot of people that were like really, getting angry at Dave for what appeared to be like letting, Based Mama kind of twist in the wind on this deal by not, responding to these accusations. The contract, it had an NDA and also had a non-compete clause, and they were for ridiculous amounts of time. And so people were like really coming down on Based Mama's side of this thing, saying, well, Dave, are you going to step it up? You just, I guess because it's saying, you're a man and you're part of this deal, instead of looking at it as a business thing. And, well, which business partner are you going to, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like that in retrospect now, that there was maybe a little too much pressure going his way. Because, all right, pick it back up where you left off, because he drops a video today, and what?
It almost came off as a, hey guys, it's not my fault. I mean, it was a lot more subtle than that, but basically he just said, I didn't have anything to do with that aspect of it. Although he didn't seem to be outright blaming her. My personal guess, just from my experiences with lawyers at work, is lawyers don't care about what makes even the remotest bit of common sense. They care about doing whatever will cover whoever's paying their asses the most. So they'll write outrageous things. That's why you get like 20-page terms of service on things. It's because the lawyers will try to do everything, no matter how outrageous, to make it to the advantage of their clients. And I can imagine Based Mama or whoever it was, well, we need to get an attorney to make sure things are in order. And I can totally visualize an attorney going, well, yeah, we need the non-disclosure and the non-compete here. Just let me write these for you. And people tend to just assume a lawyer is always doing the proper thing. Where in this case, they may have been doing the proper thing from the standpoint of looking out for their client's best interest, but to hell with common sense. That's my guess as to how this probably came about.
Yeah, in that whole the way that the whole document, it didn't look like it didn't look right. It looked like I don't know how to describe it, but the contract didn't look like anything. I had experience like looking at musician contracts, and writers, parts of stuff with that kind of thing, those kind of events, and looking at writers and things like that. And it says oh, all right, Mercolian is saying they went through prepaid legal, or contracts for dummies.
They raised over 80 grand. They could afford a lawyer, maybe just not a very good one.
Right. And I think that, in retrospect, I think that maybe they were trying to save a couple of bucks. Occam's razor says, the simplest answer is usually the correct one. And usually in situations like this is either trying to cut corners financially or just laziness. And just letting somebody. He said that it was the other people involved were Base Mama and this person named Sister Danger. And right before we came on, I had looked at some of her stuff. So apparently she's tight with Base Mama. And I'd be honest with you, I had never heard of her.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
And until then, and it seems like she's kind of a small skipper. I don't know. She is about 1,000 subs though, so she's if you want to look at sub amounts, she's definitely larger than me. But anyway, so
the thing is, it seems out of character to what I know of Base Mama. She doesn't seem like she would be that conservative about this sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I think you kind of nailed it on, that the whole covering the ass thing. I don't know. I can see a mother of six, being, like wanting to have a handle on things control wise. So that doesn't surprise me. In retrospect, I think it would have been smarter for them to, come out before and say, look, obviously we've got a problem here and we need to deal with it. And then we can get back to everybody with, some type of something worked out. Because what I got from Dave's video was that there was probably some, what we call in the South, some fussing and fighting going on, as to about it, what was, because from his perspective, he was saying that he didn't want any kind of NDA as part of the deal, and that he didn't understand the whole the non-compete thing, that was my biggest problem was, all right, are you gonna? If I sign this, am I setting myself up for lawsuit for 3 years? I mean, I haven't been invited or anything. I don't have a dog in this hunt, to be honest. But shit, everybody's talking about it, and I've got an opinion about it too. I have when you hang out in circles like I do, and a couple of guys up in here know what I'm talking about. You do run into a couple of lawyers. And I had a lawyer not sign. I had a, kind of scan, the thing from Twitter, and he basically told me, he said, if you were my client, I would advise you not to sign that. And
yeah, but that's the reversed version, or the reverse version of what I was talking about earlier, where if they're writing the contract for you, they'll make it as much in your favor as possible. Screw sensibility. And any lawyer will pretty much always tell you never sign anything if you don't have to. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what he said. What he said, it's like, man.
I mean, I have mind-numbing experience with this because I don't think it's any secret. I work at a bank and I work in their mortgage division, and I deal with their internal lawyers who basically do this thing for the bank. And yeah, they're very divorced from reality.
I like the way you said that. So you're saying that they really don't think realistically at all. So everything's abstract. What to them?
Everything for them is what's technically in our best interest, even if those interests make you look like a petty piece of crap.
Right.
Because the opinion polls, that's not their problem. Their problem is getting away with everything you can get away with legally.
Right. Well, and you know that kind of makes sense, you know, if you think about it from that standpoint. I think the lesson learned here is that if you're going to do a huge event and you're going to get, you know, that kind of money, I mean, that's somebody, I think it was a social rec, had said that he was concerned that there wasn't enough money for this thing. And to be honest with you, I don't know how many people they've got scheduled or the size of the venue or anything.
I also don't think we know if these people are being paid or not, or if any of them are being paid.
From what I've gathered is that they're not.
Well,
Tim Pool said that his deal was that he was supposed to fly himself there and pay for his hotel. And, you know, that they were just, he was going, you know, he was signing that just to speak.
Yeah, but he's far from the biggest person. I mean, all right, you don't pay a Tim Pool, you don't pay that girl, or what the hell she's even doing there is beyond me. But you might pay a Sargon.
Yeah. Well, you know, and then that's the, how, you know, that, who knows, you know, then that's, I guess when it gets down to it, that's part of the, you know, the inner workings of that deal. I don't know. I would have hired an event planner. You know, if I had that kind of money, I think I could pull a couple of thousand aside and say, you know, I'll get a good event planner, and you know, that would that had put on something, you know, makes, you know, political in nature. Because I'm sure in Phoenix that's probably happened a couple of times, given that it's, you know, the largest city in the state. Is it not the capital? Does anybody in the chat know if Phoenix is the capital of Arizona?
I don't know if it's the capital or not, but it's a large city, and I would assume, especially in winter, that's probably pretty popular place for conventions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is scheduled for October, April 21st and 22nd, I think is what he said. But I guess if we want to, does anybody in the chat have anything they want to say or ask about the event? Bass Trap Kaler says, I am the knower of things. I believe you. I don't see any. Somebody had asked me a question earlier about music and what kind of music do I like. And it's interesting. I like everything from Motorhead. It just depends on the situation and the type of music, you know. I really love, like, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the classically. What I love about them is that they were able to fuse jazz, classical, and rock together perfectly, and no other band's been able to do that. Frank Zappa, I really love Zappa because he's able to inject honesty and humor into his music.
Not to interrupt, but allow me to interrupt.
Please do.
We have two questions about the Kilroy thing. Yin Wolf wants to know what it's about. Funnily enough, it's about free speech.
It's about free speech.
That I believe that was supposed to be their main theme. And then Skep Talk asked if either of us were going.
I am not going to be able to. But you know, hey, it's like if I could, I would probably be planning to do it. Because I would like to meet some of the people. But then again, sometimes maybe it's best that we don't meet face to face, you know.
I'm not going. I think all of these things are a bad idea because VidCon ruined an entire swath of YouTubers for me forever.
To be honest, man, I kind of agree with that statement, man. It was like after I don't know, man. It was everybody was different after VidCon. It was like this kumbaya shit. Um, I don't know. I liked what Randy Monkey said. You know, it's like all these people are like saying that the SJW thing is over and done with, and he said that he goes, they're winning still, and I'm not giving up this fight. And I mean, and that's what hey, I respect the guy for seeing it like that, man, because to some degree we're in some type of ideological battle.
Here, okay. Skeptalk just asked who got ruined for me. Should I answer this, IRATE?
Hey, man, this is all about shooting straight and being honest, man. Go for it. Shit. You're my brother.
If Blair White, if part of her persona wasn't already being arrogant, it would have ruined her for me. But that's part of her thing, so it didn't really. Who did ruin it for me? Well, it didn't ruin Armored Skeptic for me either, because I always knew he was a pompous jackass, and this just showed it even more. But yeah, the Jeff Holidays, the Some Black Guys, the Bunty King, they all made me want to throw up. They think they're celebrities. They're jokes as far as they may not be. They're not jokes on YouTube, but as far as calling them celebrities, that's absurd.
Well, no, hold on now. Some Black Guy and Bunny King are both on Dave Rubin this week. What are you saying?
Yeah, well, first of all, Dave Rubin's not a celebrity either, and the Bunty King thing, I always, well, I think yeah, I'm not going to repeat that line, but you heard that one. Yeah, I was just unfamiliar with him, but there was something about him that struck me as off-putting. After watching Dave Rubin yesterday, I can tell you exactly what it is. He's a shyster salesman.
Really? You really think that, man?
He bragged about how his real job is in marketing, and then everything about his personality totally fit for me. And hey, I mean, that doesn't mean he's not a nice guy. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't care. But I don't like salesmen. I find them to just be oozing with slime, and I don't like anything to do with them.
Okay, I don't know. I see him differently. So I kind of need to want to disagree with that, because I don't know. I don't see that, and I don't know him enough to say that. But I mean, I'm not gonna deny you your
don't get me wrong. In the case of
whatever the hell you want to.
In the case of Bunty King, I'm not making a shot about his character. I'm just saying that his personality type is a personality type that I don't like.
Right. Well, and that's something that we've, I don't know if you and I have really explored it really very deeply, but I've gotten in some talks with some people about this whole YouTube thing. Is that, are we dealing with, is everybody here the person who they are when they're not here, or are they, are we dealing with some people that are playing characters when they're on YouTube, and then once the camera or the microphone goes off, they're completely different people. See, that with me, and I believe with you too, it's like when the mic goes off, we're still the same people that we are now. We're gonna have this exact same conversation whether the microphone is and we're broadcasting or not, right?
Well, I mean, I've said before that the only difference between me in real life and me, if you hear me streaming, is I slightly exaggerate the drinking, although I still drink like a fish, truth be told. And I definitely over accentuate the gayness, and that's it. Otherwise, this is exactly, I'm this much of a dick in the real life too.
I don't think you're a dick, man. It's like, but I like you.
Give it time, right?
I actually like you. But see, and that's what I love about you, is you're very candid, with your opinion about stuff. I'd rather you be honest with me and shoot straight than hide anything, because I'm so used to it.
Sorry.
I think I just saw God. And that was another flashback.
Also known as a phone.
It sounded like the sound of, I don't know. Anyway, so we're talking about YouTube celebrities or personalities. I'm not going to go as far as to say anybody's a celebrity either, man. You're right. There's only one true celebrity that's attached to YouTube, and that's PewDiePie.
That's right.
54 million people can't be wrong. That 54 million.
Occam's razor can't be wrong either, can he?
I'm gonna get him to listen to that just for that line. Man, you bust his balls so hard on that shit. I love the kid. He's awesome. He is so funny, and he doesn't even know it sometimes. He is funny as hell. Okay, so and then all right, on Dave Cullen's video, there's of course, with any video that's posted, there's a group of comments made, right? There's a particular exchange of comments that came up that kind of was brought to, well, it wasn't brought to my attention. Actually, I saw it and I said, we got to talk about this, man. So I'm pulling that up right now. The Dave Cullen video with Computing Forever and the Dave Cullen. And let's see. Go to the Kilroy Concerns video, which has always had already had 8,621 views. And speaking of, some black guys already made a comment on here, but that's not the one I wanted to get to. Where is it? Perhaps. Oh, here it is. All right.
But by the way, while you explain what happened to them, I'm going to go refill my coffee. I'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Sure. Okay. So part of this deal, all right, of the comments, one in particular is made by this gentleman named Coach Red Pill. Okay, and if you aren't aware, Coach Red Pill is extremely popular among the MRA and MGTOW community, especially for some reason. It may be the fact that he comes off occasionally as being a pure misogynist, but then again, he also has an appeal towards people like Aiden Paladin and a highly intelligent crew, which totally baffles me at times because the guy comes off as being, I don't know, being insincere as to who he really is. I don't know. I can't stand fake fucking people, and my fake ass buzzer goes off whenever I hear one of his videos. But I do watch his stuff. I will say that. Because just look at the inconsistencies. So, given that, I've given my impression, in my opinion, of Coach Red Pill. Here's his response to Dave Cullen. He's been trying to stir shit up with this particular group for quite a bit of time. I think he really wants to be friends with all these people. He says, if you don't want doxers at your event, why do you have Jeff Holiday listed as a featured speaker? Coach Red Pill. And then Azuria Claremont says, Coach Red Pill, those who live in glass houses really shouldn't throw stones. Queen Cunt with a V for the U. Coach Red Pill, stop your weird bitch and please notice me. You sad as fuck, mate. Okay, I get it. That's very British. Coach Red Pill beat me to it. Pox Toxic says. Magog of Morscar says, do you have proof of this accusation? Just curious. And he had said earlier, as a matter of fact, earlier, I guess a couple of days ago, he had put up a video that said that he was prepping himself to be doxxed. And that Jeff Holiday had made some kind of dossier about him and sold it to somebody at 4chan or gave it to somebody at 4chan who supposedly has sold it to somebody else who's going to dox him. Oh yeah, it was Kraut. That's who it was. He said that Kraut was going to dox him because of information that had been gleaned by Jeff Holiday, right? Jeff puts the dossier together, the dossier goes to 4chan, and then 4chan gives it to Kraut, because that's how things work on the internet. It's all cloak and dagger. And,
yeah, I watched the video. Well, on your recommendation, actually, I watched the video you're referencing from what's his face. Yeah, I'm not all that familiar with him, but he comes off as not real mentally stable and kind of a scam artist.
Yeah, well, and it's not just that you know his the fake part is real obvious. You know, I don't know anybody whose hero at the age of 16 was James Joyce. You know, he literally said that in a video, that his hero at the age of 16 was James Joyce. And I'm like, okay, at the age of 16, I think my hero might have been Jimmy Page or Gene Simmons, somebody like that. But yeah, James Joyce, I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know anyone who knew all sorts of rich and famous people and made tens of millions of dollars and has a YouTube channel that, well, yeah, let's face it, is less than successful.
Well, it's not only that. Well, he's got right at 10K, man. You know, he's not, you know, he's not PewDiePie, of course, but my question was the same thing. You know, if you went to an Ivy League school and you've got an Ivy League degree, you know, why are you at the age of 50 on fucking YouTube, you know, trying to, you know, get rich and famous doing that? That doesn't add up to me. You know, he says he's doing all these videos for his young child, his 2-year-old little boy. And he does videos that are at best misogynistic. Women are like dogs. I can imagine being his son and looking at this stuff and goes, God damn, this is how you really felt about my mother. You know, I think, you know, it's like, you know, he was saying he's doing all these things for his kid, and he's saying all this horrible shit about women. And I mean, that points directly to that kid's mother and his sister. You know, he's got an older daughter that and 2 bastards, of course, that he rarely talks about. He did talk about how he got, you know, this one woman pregnant, and she was married to another man, and it was all, you know, lurid and shit. And I was like, who gives a shit, man? Why are you even putting this video out, man? I mean, what are you trying to brag that, you know, that your cock works, man? Well, fantastic, you know. I really don't understand it, but anyway, so he's trying to pick fights, and this has kind of been his MO. He's trying to punch up with a lot of these people, and he evidently chased Sargon down and had coffee with him one day. So anyway, he's raised this, you know, this huge stink on about Jeff Holiday. And Jeff has done a really good job of not, you know, falling into the troll. He was on Andy Worski's show a while back, and Jeff did get a chance to you know, to say some stuff about him then. But they were, to be honest with you, it seemed like that they were being pretty civil with each other. But so now he's like made another official shot, you know, at Jeff Holiday, you know, calling him a doxer. So we'll see what happens out of that. What do you think, man?
I think the choice of people I take shots at are much more entertaining than Jeff Holiday.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Jeff Holiday. I do like his work when he makes serious videos. I think they're interesting and good and well thought out. I just don't like his I'm a cool hipster persona in his other videos. But But even with that being said, I don't see him as a huge person begging to be a target of other people. I mean, he's, again, I mean, it's more just a matter of taste to me. It's not a matter of he's a horrible person.
Well, and this whole matter of doxing on YouTube and stuff, it's like, ever since I heard Bering say this, I've taken it to heart, because he just says, you've got to live as if it's going to happen, you know? And if you've got something to hide, man, the last place you want to be is on fucking YouTube, you know, doing videos. Does that ring true with anybody? You know, I don't have anything to hide. I don't have a pot to piss in. And if you want to know about my history, I'll be glad to, you know, sit back and talk with you, you know, about the, you know, the deep stuff out of, you know, how I got out of, you know, why I'm not working in the mental health field or any of that shit anymore. You know, it's like, cause you know, I'm a drunk, you know, I'm an alcoholic, man. You know, I got fired and shit, you know, that's the truth with me. You know, what you see is what you get here. I'm not hiding a thing. And it bothers me that these people, that this whole thing has even come about is, you know, every time it seems like he gets, you know, he comes into this little whirlwind and then he goes off and disappears, you know. But he definitely, there's some kind of echo chamber that's going on, you know, with that whole, you know, the MGTOW thing. That makes sense, you know, if you're calling women dogs and you know, and being, you know, painting with that misogynistic, you know, brush, that makes sense to me, you know, that you would have, you know, a huge MGTOW audience. And I'm not dissing MGTOWs. I mean, shit, I get it. You know, I've got some, you know, I've got a person that I really love that I'm, you know, related to, that went through a completely horrible divorce, man. And that person is as damaged because of that stuff. So I can understand, you know, the huge amount of damaged people we have in this country because of, you know, of the relationships, but, you know, between men and women that can get all fucked up, especially with divorce.
Well, let's be honest too. Is there a place that has a higher concentration of broken people than YouTube? I mean, seriously.
Well, maybe Reddit. You know, if you want to go to a higher place, I would say Reddit has, you know, a higher concentration of broken people. But yeah, that's a beautiful way to describe, you know, what I see in YouTube is that, you know, we're the island of misfit toys, you know. Hey, you know, I'm good with that. You know, life is so short, man. You know, why spend time, you know, punching at people or accusing people of shit that they're not guilty of, you know, if you've got concrete proof. To be honest, Coach Red Pill has left a humongous digital footprint. And all I had to do was go on the Wayback Machine for 10 minutes. And I found out everything I could ever want to know about the guy. I mean, he had his own Wikipedia page, for fuck's sake. You know, he made his own Wikipedia page and put his entire history on there, man. And then there's other stuff about his history. You know, he got called out. He had a problem in college that he has talked about. And all that shit was on, you know, all I did was go to the Wayback Machine and boom, you know, 10 minutes later, I've got it. I've got all these screencasts. I was going to do beyond, and we had talked about this. I was going to do a video about this guy because, you know, my problem isn't necessarily that he's, you know, doing anything on YouTube. Hell, the dude is one of the few people that's close to my age on YouTube, you know, and, you know, I would, you know, want to reach out to people like this because, you know, they're my friends, but this guy comes off as being full of shit to me and, you know, disingenuous.
You know what I don't get is, I mean, I've done any number of stupid things in my life, but I've never been stupid enough that I've actually used my real name on the internet.
Right. Me either. You know, if you dig far enough on this name, you're going to get another. I've got multiple layers, man. You know, and only smart people that have been on the internet know that's how you have to do it. You know, if you want to remain completely anonymous, you know, and that's the only reason I do that. I'm anonymous that much is because, you know, I have people that I love that I need to protect. Other than that, I'm an open book.
Not only do I never use my name on the internet, but I periodically search my name on Google, hoping nothing comes up. The only thing that comes up is an obituary. Not of mine, but of a funeral I was at. Nothing else. Otherwise, I do not exist according to Google. Thank God.
I understand. I understand that, you know, and I see T-Tac and Jaggin Political in the group. Hello, gentlemen. How are y'all doing? Having a little party with Bass Trap Kayla. I don't know. How much longer do you want to go on this thing? Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Well,
I need to take a brief break. If we can do that.
Check the group chat for a second.
Okay. Which group? Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know if I can pull this off on my own while you're gone.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm thinking about.
Oh, and we've got Irate Bear too.
Oh my God. You know what? Let's see. I'm going to throw a couple of links out there, and if anybody wants to pop in, come on, pop in and say hey. Let's see.
Yeah, because I'm not exciting enough to carry this while Irate takes his potty break.
Oh. What are they saying, man?
They're just all saying hi to each other.
All right.
But yeah, we do have some other things to go over, I know, or at least potential things that we can go over. And we never addressed. I don't know if you wanted to get into the whole gem thing from last night that you were talking about.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, you know, T-Tac is part of that deal too. So, all right, T-Tac and Irate Bear, check your DMs on Twitter, and when I pop back, I should expect y'all in here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Is anybody taking me up on that? I would imagine Alexi. But yeah, go ahead and just why don't you?
I can insult a few people while you go, if nothing else.
Okay, go for that. And yeah, T-Tac and Irate Bear. I shot both of y'all a hangout. Yeah, T-Tac. Yeah, you might want to come in. All right.
Well, he just said he can't. He's at work.
Okay. It's about the deal with from last night and night before last with Gemini and the Pop-Tart. Be right back. And Sir Adamantine, if you want to shoot out the link to anybody, please feel free.
All right. So yeah, people I hate. What the hell, Liz Reptile and Zeph, are they even human? Just messed up.
Good evening.
Gross. Is that Bear?
It is.
Hello. You saved me from making an ass of myself again.
Was you about to start abusing the chat?
I was about to start abusing random YouTubers.
Well, don't let me stop you. I quite enjoy it when you do that.
My buddy Liz has been giving me plenty of ammunition lately, or at least her alien friend has.
Yes, yes. And also accusing me of doxing. Very nice, very nice.
Well, they are charmers, and they really know how to make friends.
Yeah. So this is a drama stream, is it?
Yeah, bitchy gossip kind of thing.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough. Is
I was watching.
What have I missed? What have I missed, Adamantine?
We just discussed the whole Patreon thing, and we discussed the Kilroy thing.
You mean how Patreon have immediately gone back on themselves?
Yeah, but my opinion,
like a prick.
but my opinion on that is too little, too late. They already showed what they really think. Now they're just showing what they have to show.
Yes, yes. Well, it's in my eyes, you know, the people that are already Patreon to me that didn't leave either don't care or they've just been too busy. They will find out eventually, because I did send a mass message out to everybody, as you know, because you're one of my patrons.
Yes, and as I mentioned to you before, I'm definitely switching everyone over who is going over.
Well, I quite like Maker support because it acts as a social media platform as well.
Dave Cullen put out a video the other day giving a good kind of overview of them. It sounded like the better company, quite honestly.
I like them. They are adding more as well. Although a proper reply function wouldn't go amiss. But apparently they're introducing private messaging as well.
I've signed up for it. I followed you and a few other people, but I haven't actually really looked into the functionality of it itself. I did mention to you that there was that tweet I sent you the other day asking some information about them, and before you even replied to me, they replied to me.
That's very good.
Which was freaky and impressive.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's run by another YouTuber.
They seem to have a much better philosophy about themselves.
Well, if they are a YouTuber, they at least understand what we need as creators and what patrons need as people who choose to support people.
Yes,
you know.
I don't know what the history of the I don't know what the history of Patreon is.
No, I don't. I know it's obviously not just for YouTubers. You know, it's anyone making anything. I suppose. I mean, I've seen fucking what they're called now, game developers on there. I've seen cosplayers for some reason. I have no idea why that's a thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's another issue that we can kind of discuss.
Oh yeah, the magic thing.
Yeah,
Christine Sprinkle thing.
I gotta say, this is gonna sound mean. All right, I know you had him on.
Yeah,
and the first couple sentences were tell us about, or I think the first thing you said was tell us about Magic the Gathering, and I'm like, okay, this isn't the stream for me. But then after the fact, I found out, the drama behind it. Then it became interesting.
Yeah, well, it was interesting because I had him scheduled the Friday before all that started happening. I had reached out to him because I really was liking the way he was delivering news, and was talking about some of the quote TM skeptosphere type stuff. So all this other stuff was, I had no idea that shit was going on, right? And by that Friday, he was going to be on that evening. I saw that Andy Worski had kind of Thursday is kind of when all that shit broke out, and then Worski had him on, so and that kind of gave me a little bit of bump with people watching that night, because we were people wanting to see whether he got the verdict or not, and he didn't get that until a couple of days ago. So yeah, he's been excommunicated from the Church of Magic.
That whole, I mean, even more than what Twitter is planning on doing, that whole idea that a gaming company can ban you for life because of things you say out in the world that has really nothing to do with them, that's not a good trend.
Social media monitoring. Yeah. It's just like fucking the Stasi and shit. It's East Germany, 1978. It's ridiculous.
What's really disturbing is how many. It's not even that the companies try to do this; it's that such a large section of the population supports these kind of extremely anti-free speech things.
Well, and what amazes me is that they took the girl's word. I mean, here's the deal, and I love the way oh God, what is it? Oh Jesus, his name just dropped out of my head. The Scottish guy that did the dog with Heil Hitler. Fuck, Jesus, Dankula. Jesus Christ, boo. He had his little video on the whole deal was perfect, man, because it showed how her Patreon was going, ding, 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 you know, it like hit a bottom, and then as soon as she announced she was leaving, it shot straight back up to the level it was, like, you know, 6 months before. It was amazing. Yeah, she wasn't doing it, and now supposedly she's going to be out for good. I don't know. We'll find out all that shit.
Out for good, like Liz is periodically out for good. Or Joy Sparkles. I mean, they've retired more times than Michael Jordan did.
Geekthulhu says women never lie. How dare you, you patriarchal scum?
I have a controversial opinion.
What's up, brother?
I don't like the quartering.
Okay, I can understand that. There's, you know,
my first impression of him was the video that you mentioned previously about the skeptosphere. I found it tone policing. I found it pretentious, and I really don't like it when people try to tell us what to do.
But what do you think about what happened to him?
Oh, that's fucked up. Beyond fucked up. It's a shitty little card game.
Yeah, that whole group. You know, it's like, see, I remember when the game came out, and you know, I went to my local comic book shop, right, and there was this new game, and it was like I looked at it and I read the, you know, how to play it and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this will never catch on. Fuck it, you know.
By the way, a large section of the chat seems to agree with you, Bear.
Good. Oh, they seem to. Scott seems to agree with me as well on the fact that I dislike Hi, I Think I'm Real as well.
Well, you know, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I guess what you're saying about the quartering is he comes off as being just a.
Well, that was my first impression, Irate. Yeah. You know, I went. It was the first video that I saw.
He does have a kind of like an arrogance that kind of comes out when he talks. And I hear what you're saying, you know.
I am subscribed to him. I subscribed to him after that because I tend to I like to subscribe to people that I like to keep an eye on.
You should. Have you listened to the cream stream that I have him on?
No, but it is suggested to me right there. Oh shit!
Yeah, it's very interesting because he kind of, you know, once he drops the mask and stuff, he's got a lot of information that's really valuable about how advertising works. He's in that business. He's in the advertising business, and basically he's living off of 4 accounts. So they're huge, and he lives not far from you, Sir Adamantine. And he said he had 3 channels that he's abandoned that had over 100,000 subs. So he's got some bizarre what word I'm looking for, experience on YouTube with successful stuff. He said one of his channels is just him with a claw machine. You know, one of those little claw things, you know, that picks up the little toys and shit.
I'm aware of channels that sort of base their entire content of just playing arcade machines like that. Like the one where you put the pennies in the coin, they put the penny in the machine and it goes down, and then you have to try and push the other coins off, stuff like that.
Exactly. That kind of thing, man. It was he had like 120 something thousand subs on that thing when he abandoned it. So he's an interesting person, but I can understand how people how he can come off as being an arrogant person.
Well, that's the thing, is I've enjoyed all of his videos ever since.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I at the minute I don't like him, but I like his content. The first video, I hated it. I wanted to fucking destroy it. I was seriously considering fucking doing a response video to it. But since then, the drama kicked off. I actually I quite like the videos. It's been very interesting learning about this nerdy virgin community.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And all these guys, you know, that it's this whole cosplay, you know, he's the one that came up with the cosplay as lingerie, you know, quote. And
I like that.
Did you ever listen to his thing he did with Bering and Sargon?
No, I missed that.
There's a stream that he's on with them too, where they talk about all this stuff, which is interesting. But the whole cosplay community and all these guys, man, throw these monies at this girl is like, she's very beautiful. She's young. She's in her mid-20s. She's at the top of her fitness. Everything, gravity hasn't had its effect. She hadn't had any children or anything, so everything's right where it's supposed to be with her. And all these guys give her money to show up at these things. Even the company pays her to dress up in certain things and show up at these. They pay her. They give her, room and board and free meals, the whole 9 yards, right? So, that would have a tendency, I guess, to, inflate the ego just a wee bit,
Quite the lifestyle.
Exactly, man. And all these dudes, all these young guys that, haven't even touched a woman, much less, being, romantically or even sexually involved with one. A lot of these guys, play the game, and if they want to quote me, they get pissed off at me. I'm sorry, man. That's how the fucking thing is, man. I calls it like I sees it. And, they throw this money at this girl, just so she'll take a picture with them or, send them special pictures of her, and even some of these cosplayers, they'll even sell, racy stuff, to the higher Patreon, strata, the people in the $100, club or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, these cosplayers are pulling in some jack, dude.
Oh, I bet.
I mean,
let's face it. The entire internet is full of virgins throwing money at women, thinking that somehow it's going to be a substitute for the sex they're not getting.
Well, and the point is that, as long as these guys,
that's what I do. That's what I do with you, Bear.
I'm not going there. Oh, dude. And the idea is that I think, in the back of these guys' mind, is just like, well, one of these days, she's going to break up with that, perfectly fit dude, that she's actually dates. All these, I hate to, break down, things to a stereotype, but I mean, in this case, it's really sad. That these people are so lonely that they'll, just to get an automated email from somebody that they can fantasize that they're in love with, man. I don't know. It's just, it's sad.
Just a little bit.
Just a little.
I don't get it. It's a fucking card game.
I know, man.
Oh.
It's crazy, isn't it? All that attention. Well, since we got you here, Alex, you want to hang out and talk for a little bit about some of the other stuff we've been talking about?
Yeah, sure. If you want, what did you want my opinion on?
Did you read the little Coach Red Pill thing, man, that we were talking about?
Oh, is that the comment that he left on Dave's video?
Yeah, about Jeff. He accused Jeff earlier of doxing him and creating a dossier and giving it to 4chan.
Oh, it was at fucking Kiwi Farms. I read the entire thread for that shit. What proof is it that Jeff doxed him?
There is none, man. I think I swear to God, I think he thinks he's like fucking Donald Trump or something, that there's some kind of dossier out there with him pissing on, a bed and, in front of prostitutes in Russia or some shit. I have no idea.
He's from what I read in the thread, he seems to have somewhat of a shady past and stuff. And I won't go into it, obviously. He's an odd chap. He's very eccentric. I don't know why he seems to be blaming Jeff. Maybe because I guess they just took an instant disliking to each other. Probably because I guess Coach Red Pill is technically alt-right. Jeff doesn't like the alt-right. He tends to label them all with the same, well, paint them all with the same brush. And I guess that Coach Red Pill may have taken offense. So I don't know. I have no idea what the beef is.
Well, I've noticed that Red Pill and Hey, I Think I'm Real have some stuff in common. They have the tendency to every once in a while try to punch uphill. I think the only reason I can see for doing that is to get more subs, right? And I've seen them do it a couple of times in the past, and sometimes it'll pay off with them. It's paid off with Hey, I Think I'm Real. He punched up for a while and then eventually got on Andy Worski. So, so I guess sometimes it works.
Yeah, Geekthulhu says it was Kraut making a pseudo threat about doxing Coach Red Pill. Jeff was supporting and white knighting for Kraut as per usual. So I think that he lumped them in.
Well, thanks, Geekthulhu.
What did Kraut say? I didn't see it myself on Twitter.
I don't know. Do you want to get Geekthulhu in here and
Prostate? Your better half in the chat. She's just like real as a punk.
I love it as well because Ranting Monkey's Mrs. Lady Monkey fucking hates Real as well.
Oh, dude, she cannot stand him, man.
Yeah, it's funny. I like it when she starts in the chat.
Yeah, she's awesome, man.
Yeah, I really like Lady Monkey.
I loved her tweet last night. She says, when Ranting Monkey says he's going to give me 8 inches or I'm fixing to get 8 inches, I start to, smile. But when the weatherman tells me the same thing, I frown. I thought that was funny as shit, man. So let's find out. Yeah, we'll get Geekthulhu in here. And,
yeah, he was fighting with Jeff on Twitter earlier.
Who was Geek was? Or?
Yeah, Jeff was fighting him. They're big because Geekthulhu was talking shit about Jeff and Geekthulhu's live stream, I guess.
Is that fight as in FITE?
Yes.
Okay, let me get
fight me.
Fat me.
Yeah. Oh God, I've got fucking ghost poo in an hour and a half. I want to go to bed.
All right, let me pop his butt in here. All right, I saw him young. All right, yeah. All right. The new hangout is the hangout. All right, so Geekthulhu, get your butt in here, dude.
I'll give him some shit for being a drama whore.
So yeah, you got the ghost poo in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's on Drunken Uncle's channel tonight. I have no idea what he's got planned. He doesn't like sharing the stuff that we talk about in DMs before we start. So
he is a sneaky.
Hello.
Hey man,
I wanted to make IRATE better feel at home.
I'm gonna punch you in the mouth.
Love you, boo.
Oh my God, what is your deal, geek?
What is my?
You're such a drama whore.
I'm not a drama whore.
What the fuck,
I just
man?
think Jeff's
Geek,
a fake ass dude.
Every day I see you fighting with someone on Twitter. You can't help it, can you?
Well, Twitter, get your shit together, people.
Every time I see you live streaming This Week in fucking Drama.
Oh yeah, well, no, that's like kind of like a little show thing that I like to do, just so I can catch everybody up on the salacious drama that's going on in the community.
Drama whore.
Give my opinion on it. I'm not like putting myself in the drama.
Well, you were fighting Jeff earlier.
Oh well, yeah, well, because Jeff was like he wasn't like attacking the argument. He was just ad homing. I'm just like, dude, come on. If you want people to fucking take your side and say, because I don't agree with Coach Red Pill saying, oh, Jeff Holiday is going to dox or threatening to dox me. I don't agree with that. He's full of shit on that. But if your response is stupid shit, and actually that I think that thread was starting with JF, and everybody knows that I don't like Jeff, and the reason why I don't like Jeff is I think he's a fake. I think he's a phony.
Were you talking shit about him on the live stream? That seemed to be the reason why he was annoying.
Oh no, I think somebody had asked me why I don't like him, and so I explained why I don't like him, You know, like why I'm not. I used to be a big fan of Jeff's, but then the more I experienced him, the more I saw that he's sort of like a panderer. He panders to what the most popular opinion is within his own little in group.
Well, I'm going to second everything that Geek just said.
There you go. A man of quality and taste. That's Sir Adamantine.
Can you give me an example of
Adamantine.
stuff, because I'm not seeing it?
Well, like things about his slimy nature. Okay, so he's on the Drunken Peasants. Now the community fucking loathes him, but the Drunken Peasants have had a sordid history with a guy named Tommy Sotomayor. Do you know who he is?
The name rings a bell, but I can't quite remember who it is.
The older conservative black guy.
Yeah.
Right.
The one that Tariq Nasheed was calling him Crispy Baldy.
Oh, that's nice.
The only good thing that Tariq Nasheed ever did. but yeah,
You call it moist.
So Tommy Sotomayor, he runs a lot of GoFundMe's, little fundraisers to get like a documentary made or help with legal issues, and he basically scams all of these people.
Right.
And the Drunken Peasants, like one time went into one of his streams and just had all his people troll his chat, saying Glanderson Booper. And so he ended up DMCAing their channel and fucking their channel for a bit. So they were like, oh shit, we're gonna have to legally fight this. Yeah. And it was a false DMCA. It wasn't legitimate. But Jeff Holiday goes onto the Drunken Peasants and they ask him about it. And they're like, hey, Tommy, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. You know, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe I'll have a talk with him. Instead of going, oh, no, that shit's fucking deplorable. That's fucking bullshit that he did that. That's not right. Like he kind of blew it out. It's just this disingenuous nature of Jeff Holiday where he basically he defaults to, well, Tommy's got a lot of fucking people that follow him. This can help my channel. He's more concerned with his brand than his actual politics. And that's why I don't like him.
Is he upfront with that concern, or is he or is it disguised in your opinion?
What do you mean?
I mean, is he upfront and saying, you know, I'm doing this to get subs?
Oh no.
Okay.
He's not.
Okay.
One other thing about Jeff too is he doesn't seem to be very good at calling anyone out unless he's got 5 of his friends with him at the same time.
Yeah. He definitely exists in the echo chamber. The only time he'll call somebody out is if they're a smaller channel and he knows that he can just pound them into because they're insignificant to the overall community. And number 2,
somebody like me, right?
Yeah, like, or me. You know, it's like somebody that it's like really like that doesn't have like the power that he sort of has, or if he's got 4 or 5 of his other friends there, and then suddenly he's like Mr. Big fucking badass, and he'll talk all his shit. Like when I was on a Warski Live, my first ever Warski Live, I show up in there, and Andy's before we even get started. Andy's like, hey, Geek, I got a DM here, and they're asking me to ask you, why don't you like Jeff Holiday? And I was just like, and I explained to you exactly what I just I explained to him what I explained to you, and it turns out that Jeff Holiday is the one who sent Andy the fucking message instead of being the man and coming on the stream and asking me, hey, bro, why don't you like me? But once I was just like, well, I don't hate him. I don't, because he said, why does Geek hate me? And I was like, I don't hate him. I just dislike him. You know, I just think some of the things that he does is a little fucking shady and slimy. And I think he cares more. I don't think he really gives everybody their true opinion, the true opinion that he has. He just more or less defaults to whatever the temperature of the water is, and he goes with the flow. And I just don't respect that. And then after he saw that I wasn't really going to tear into him, then he shows up in the stream. And I'm like cracking jokes and shit because we're watching Scorch's PFG TV. It's an Opie and Anthony holdover from long ago. So we're watching that and we're all just cracking jokes. And I'm like cracking jokes. I'm like, yeah, Jeff, I like that little Jeff boy. I was like, you know, doing the Uncle Paul and trying to tease him and play around with him. And he wasn't having none of it. He was ignoring the shit out of me. I was like, you're a bitch. I'm like, you're such a bitch.
Well, I like him.
Okay, that's fine. You can like him.
He also chose to support me during the Pop and Ollie thing, if you remember.
Well, yeah, because Pop and Ollie is a fucking asshole.
Yes, they are. Well,
you know, it's easy to say,
especially.
Like he supported me when Hitler said he wanted to kill my relatives. You know, okay, okay, you should.
Well, you know, and I don't have that. I don't have a beef with Jeff, to be honest with you. I'm more, I don't know. I don't even really have an issue with Coach Red Pill, man. It's just that, you know, he just comes off as, you know, being full of shit. You know, for lack of a better, you know, way to say it.
And for the reason that you actually brought me on, what had happened was Crowd had made a video saying how he was going to expose Coach Red Pill, his business practices. He's got like a bunch of personal information about him, about his personal life. That's something that he's not put out there.
It's really easy to get, dude.
Yeah. But the thing is that he's sort of making this threat, and to me, Kraut's already in the doghouse with me with what he was trying to do with fucking Rage Against the Storm.
Yeah,
the whole tweet.
I had a problem with that too.
Yeah, and this guy, I tout diversity of opinion, and I think that everybody should be able to say whatever they want without having people attack them and silencing their free speech. And then he goes and he tries to affect someone's personal fucking life. And then Jeff, some black guy, they all come and fucking defend his ass saying, oh, it was just an internship. I'm like, motherfucker, an internship has a value to it. She may not be paid, but that's experience that she can no longer really use on a resume. You know, it's like, well, you know, they contact them and they go, well, what happened? Well, she put some really awful articles out there about about white supremacy and shit like that. You know, that can.
I like Kraut, but the man has an extremely bad temper, probably worse than mine, and tends to act on impulse. And if you criticize him, you know, he will take it.
Well, I think it depends on who criticizes him, though.
Well, me and Cog have both done it. So.
Yeah, I think you may have not to be overly critical here, Bear, but I think you might have a slight blind spot due to your size.
My size.
Yeah, your number of subs. I don't think you realize how condescending some of these jackasses can be when they know they can get away with it.
I don't understand what you mean.
I mean,
he's saying that you might be playing ball or not wanting to lob the hardest pitch that you can towards certain people because it may bounce back at you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Is you can be critical of Jeff Holiday and he's going to take it really well and gracefully. If someone who has 200 subs does the exact thing.
I did tell him off on that live stream with no bullshit.
But you see, if someone with 200 subs does the same thing, he will rip into them. He will quote their tweets across Twitter. He will turn all of his followers against them. And I'm not just saying him specifically. I'm saying there's a great deal of YouTubers of size who will do the exact same thing.
Perhaps I just don't notice it, I guess.
I mean, maybe you haven't run into the instance where he's maybe been disingenuous with you, but like, you know,
he's never been disingenuous with me. At least I don't think so. We haven't had that much interaction, really.
Yeah, I mean, it also, you know, even me, I'm at like almost 500 subs, and I still like don't have the time to really watch a lot of content now.
Yeah,
I'm sub to a lot of things, so I don't always see everything. Most of the time, like my Discord's just like, "Hey, geek, check this out," and they're sending me things, you know. And I can just imagine if you're like, you know, what are you up to? Like 26,000?
Not far off 27,000.
Yeah, so you're at 26,000. I can just imagine how busy like your DMs and Discord messages and shit are.
Actually, not that busy.
Oh,
and that's probably my fault, actually. I've been very recluse for the last couple of weeks, especially.
Oh no, you always responded to me pretty quick.
Yeah. That's, you know, I don't get a lot of traffic, to be honest. No one DMs me much anymore. Probably because my channel's fucking dying. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, your Ghost Poo podcast is doing good, right?
Oh yeah, Ghost Poo does well. You know, but I don't have people like, oh, can I be a guest or can I be a guest? I don't have any of that. What I do have a lot of these days is a lot of people asking for my help with their GoFundMes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the success with Charlie was, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was amazing. We did so well.
Like within the first 2 hours, you hit the goal.
Yeah, within the first 2 hours, we hit the goal, and by the end of the night, we had over $3,000. But at the same time, you know, at the end of the day, I had him and his mum come on camera, and people could physically see what was up.
Oh yeah, he was excited.
Yeah, he was excited. He was very excited. Oh yeah, but I think that's why we did so well, was because he literally came to my house, was on camera with his mum, and spoke to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot different if I do a GoFundMe for myself. Like I do have one going at the minute, or you know, if I do one for someone else, it's a lot different.
Some of the e-begging is getting a little outrageous out there, though. Well, I'm not going to mention her name again. I'll let it settle down if it settles down. But the girl who wants $30,000 so that she can turn her penis into a vagina.
What? I haven't heard about this one. You'll have to DM that to me.
Who's that?
It's
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
Her name's Helena of Alt. We had a little go around recently.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Well, she's not big or anything, but yeah.
Well, there's also a Tranime girl who lives in a van down by the river. It's relocating.
It's a bad time of year for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I try not to do it for myself unless I absolutely need it. That's not me virtue signaling. I'm just saying, like, I try not to do it unless I absolutely fucking need it.
I hear you.
I did it when my car was fucked. It was fucked again recently as well. Luckily, people helped with the GoFundMe, which helped fix my car. And I desperately fucking need that to get the boys to school. But that's about it, really.
That's like a legitimate GoFundMe. But like when you see people are like, I got a bad tummy and I can't work. It's like, you got IBS. I know plenty of people.
Firing shots to eval.
Yeah, well, I got two.
I've helped raise money for him twice now.
Yeah, and he didn't even show up for one of them.
But the thing with people like you, Bear, is you don't beg for money. You entertain, and then you throw it out there that if you think that I'm entertaining, feel free to donate. There's a big difference between that and e-begging. They're night and day different.
Yeah. I try. I only ever do it when I really fucking need it. It was it was one time when my car needed to have its MOT, and I couldn't afford it, and it needed to be done so that it could pass a safety check and make sure it was okay to be on the road, because I do need my car. And the GoFundMe was to get my car fixed and to make sure that my kids have a Christmas. Yeah. And luckily, people have donated to it. It's not finished, but you know, I managed to get my car fixed, got a new radiator, and I managed to get some presents for the boys as well. So yeah, it's awesome.
Well, Tim Tarbox brings up, Sinatra did a GoFundMe to buy an AR-15. Now, from what I remember of that GoFundMe,
I don't think it was a GoFundMe. It wasn't a GoFundMe. It
or
was
he was like asking for donations to get. It wasn't. Maybe it wasn't a GoFundMe, but it was just like donate to his PayPal or something like that.
Yeah, Streamlabs.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
but it's like, okay, if you do that, like, to me, that doesn't bother me as much. It's when people try to emotionally appeal to you.
yes,
Right.
laying on the guilt.
Insincere, right? He was straight up front with the shit. It's like,
He's like, I just want to shoot shit.
I want to fucking buy a gun. I got an idea to do videos. I want to shoot shit in slow-mo and blow them up and shit. I want to fuck shit up. And it's
oh, like, shit, I forgot. I need to admit,
people.
Sorry, IRATE Prostate. I just need to admit to something quickly. I did raise money to build my office, my shoffice, I call it, because it's technically a shed. I did do that so that I could make better content.
You're putting it out for the show. Yeah, right. That's for your show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, oh, you know, my disabled son is laying on the couch watching Dora the Explorer all day, and it's really distracting. You know, it's not like you were like trying to use like some type of pity me thing to get the money. I think that's where most people are kind of like where they get mad, and that's what bothers me.
It's the pity and providing no entertainment value.
Yeah, I get you.
I'm all about people just being straight up with who they are and their fucking intentions, man. That's all it is to me, is be honest. You know, I don't think that's a lot to ask of a person to give their subs. You know, is my subs, they know, except if I'm doing like shit-faced Alex Jones, that's a character, but they know if they're listening to me, they're getting me. Like, right, it's like Sir Adamantine and I were talking earlier. You know, it's like when the fucking hangout's still hanging and the mic goes off, and you know, and the chat, you know, empties out, and he and I are still talking. We're having this exact same conversation.
IRATE Prostate is an absolutely horrible person in private. Don't let it fool you, ladies and gentlemen.
He touched my butthole.
He does swear a lot and berate me
with his tongue.
And you all love it.
I was gonna do a Bender, a fucking Bender GoFundMe, where I was just gonna put a picture of Bender from Futurama up, and I was just gonna say I'm just gonna spend it on worthless shit.
Did any of you ever see the GoFundMe that Adindro did a few months ago?
No.
He's like, I'm supposed to have white privilege, but I didn't get anything. Give me money.
That's funny. I would have donated to that if I would have known it was around.
Outlaw Wolf says that Liz has 2 buttholes.
Even if she does, that's the least of her problems.
Sinatra said something in his stream yesterday about her like somebody had come to him saying that like she was a heroin user, like her and Sevi were heroin users, and it all kind of clicked to me, because I don't know if you guys have ever, you know, slogged through watching one of her streams, but there's always a point where she gets up and she walks away for like 5 to 10 minutes and then comes back, and then she's like all gorked out of her mind.
Oh, she's not classy enough to use heroin. She's totally a meth girl.
No. Well, Sinatra said that. Sinatra said that somebody said that her and Sevi are heroin users.
Well, that may be plausible given her medical history, but it's like I don't know if we need to like go into this, you know, into this space. Because I don't think we can prove anything, but it's like,
oh no, I mean, we can't prove
but it would make sense that someone, when you have a disease, and she's been diagnosed with the disease, you know, and you're prescribed narcotic pain medication, at some point the doctor wants to take you off of it, because of the DEAs involved, because of Obamacare and all this shit. They actually monitor how much narcotics doctors are putting out now, right? And so there's a strong incentive on them to wean people off of opiates or opioids, whatever they want to call them. And at that point, if a person is in, you know, is got some major pain management that's needed, and the doctor is one of those that's, you know, the kind that really, you know, wants to cover his ass, he's going to wean them off of it. And the only place that they're going to be able to get it, you know, any kind of relief is on the street. And right now, the most prevalent thing, the most available thing out there is heroin.
Yeah, well, I just mentioned it because, like, I know Irate Bear kind of knows Sinatra, and maybe he might had some insight on it. But when she gets up and comes back,
I ain't saying nothing.
Oh, yeah, he's saying nothing. But when she comes back, she's got like that euphoric sleepiness. And Irate Prostate, you've dealt with, like, people that have gone through drug
she looks like a lizard. She looks like a lizard warning.
Well, yeah, one of the major signs of like heroin is a nod. Is everybody end up talking, you know, and then boom, they'll just nod out, you know.
Yeah, and usually when she does that, her stream's usually over pretty quick after that, or everybody else is talking. And at first I thought, oh, maybe she's abusing her pain medication or something like that. But then I thought about it, and I was like, well, it wouldn't kick in that quick. And then when I heard Sinatra say that, I was like, wow, that kind of maybe does make some sense. Just this comment lending credibility to a potential theory I had.
I think based upon everything I've seen and heard of her, there are far too many people who give her the benefit of the doubt when the reality is glaringly obvious.
Well, you know, I think that Liz is, like, you know, in the whole situation is kind of like low hanging fruit at this point, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
The fucking hot mess.
Sometimes the short necked giraffes need to eat too, motherfucker.
Yeah, but you know, if she was just trying to, like, get away from being picked on, people would have stopped a long time ago. But her boyfriend keeps egging it on.
Yeah, and supposedly,
and her supporting him. I mean, they're asking for it.
Well, I was going to say, not T-Tech, Tonka alluded to the fact that that there's probably some new information that's going to be dropped either tonight or early in the morning, that Zeph has a new video. So there's some more shit's about to get kicked up with that whole situation. So
wow, he's really cranking those videos out.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like
real quality content that he's putting out.
You know, Irate Bear, I was watching your stream this morning, and Monkey brought up an excellent point about this whole thing.
Yeah.
What do you think Zeph is going to do to Liz when they break up?
Exactly.
Exactly my point. If she thinks she's gotten abuse now, just wait until he goes after her.
He's gonna ruin her. He's probably got all sorts of fucking recordings of her like going, can you just donate $40? I need to get me some smack for my veins. You know, like it could be something like that, you know, like just a little comment that she makes that she's not really paying too much attention to. And then later that's going to just come back and fucking ruin her.
Yeah. And you know, he's the sort who's recording everything he can just in case that day ever comes.
Well, he's admitted to recording everything,
man. See, I don't really follow that. You know, I don't have a dog in that hunt when it comes to them. I just don't watch any of the stuff. I went on one fucking stream, man, and somebody in their stream said something wrong about, you know, about that depression isn't isn't something that a person can, you know, be disabled with. And I said, no, that's bullshit. You know, you need to get your facts together because it can be, you know, you can legally be,
clinically depressed. I mean, you
right. And it can be, you know, a legal disability, you know, in the eyes of the government, you know, and somebody be classified as, you know, be clinically depressed, you know, on a regular basis. You know, medication won't help it that much. You know, I mean, the person can, and they were saying no, that's bullshit. And you know, because they were trying to justify, you know, that, you know, the disease that she had was physiological in nature. And I was also pointing out that, you know, depression is physiological too. It occurs in the brain. Hello, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that can be a legitimate disability, but you can't deny the fact that it's one of the most easily abused things to get disability for too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It can be, and it's, you know, it's the easiest to, you know, to feign the symptoms for, especially if you know how to do it. You know. But you know, that's all I pointed out, right? And then for 2 days after that, man, their fucking minions were like saying, like, you know, leaving negative remarks on every one of my videos had something negative and had a thumbs down on it. And it was like, what the fuck, you know? And that was, I mean, that was just one negative thing. That was just one thing that I said to somebody in a stream. And it was like that, you know, it's like they sick some people on me. So I was like, fuck these motherfuckers. I ain't having shit to do with them.
I know a thing or two about very severe fucking depression. You know, yeah, I was on meds and I still took a pair of scissors to my fucking arm. You know, I still spent a good few hours trying to convince myself not to fucking slash my own throat open. So, you know, I know what it's like to be clinically fucking depressed, and I tell you what, it fucks with everything in your life. It destroys relationships. You know, you don't want to go outside. You know, you don't even want to get better, really. You just want to fucking crawl up in a ball and die,
right? Because your brain gets stuck. I mean, you literally get stuck at a certain point with your brain chemistry, and it's almost like a, you know, a snake eating its tail. You know, it becomes a perpetual machine, you know, feeding itself. You're absolutely right.
You know, and I'll self-harm by punching walls, you know, at the same time destroying the house in the fucking process, you know.
Then you get depressed about the amount of money you got to spend to fix the shit in your house, or medical bills for breaking your fucking hand. That creates more depression.
I'm British. We have socialist healthcare. So
that's right.
I've come very close to breaking my fucking hand a few times. Like, really fucking hurts afterwards. But I could have sworn that at least some of my fingers were broken, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah, what you could do, and I'm sorry, I'm not making light of it, you know, of your, you know, your situation or anything, but I thought, well, all right, so what I would do is probably mark where all the studs are in the wall, and then try to aim for those, and then that way I won't break through the, you know, through the drywall as much, and then I would hit straight onto the 2x4.
It'll just break your hand instead.
Yeah, just guaranteed break your hand.
That's the thing, though. Like for me, although I'm good at the minute because I'm on new medication. I've only been on it a couple of weeks though, so we'll see how it fucking goes. But when it happens to me, I'm extremely irritable, and the tiniest thing will set me off. And what happens was when shit sets me off, the lower muscles in my back will suddenly tighten, and then as soon as they tighten, it's that split second where I make that decision to fucking lash out.
Dude,
well, last time I did it, I destroyed the fucking kitchen.
I noticed, like, recently, like, you haven't really had any of those, like, Twitter outbursts where, like, fuck you cunt, you know, like, you
what accent is that?
I don't know. It sounded better in my head. I don't know. But, you know, shit. You what, mate?
I've become a little bit of a recluse in the last couple of weeks. The new meds they're odd. They're very odd. I'm on sertraline now, and what they do is in the first few days they were making me heave loads, and I was like kept running to the bathroom because I thought I was going to be sick, and then that stopped almost immediately after 3 days, and then the panic attack started happening, and I'd be sat in my chair like I am right now looking at stream chats or Twitter tweets, and I would think that it's about me and people are going to do something to me. And then I'd sit having fucking panic attacks. I started having panic attacks during Ghost Poo podcast as well. Sat there sweating profusely in winter when this room requires a heater in it, for fuck's sake. Ooh. You know, just happening over and over again. Loads of them throughout the day. And now I'm 2 weeks into them, and I think I'm steadying out, but I can't be sure.
Yeah, it usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks for it to really kick in.
Mm.
It sounds like you're on a new family. What did you say you were on sertraline?
Yeah, I'm on sertraline now. I've done citalopram and I've done fluoxetine.
That's Zoloft.
Yeah, I'm on Zoloft now. Yeah. Citalopram fucked with me really, really hard when I was on that stuff.
Yeah, I'm on what is that? Bupropion, the stuff that they that helps you. It also helps you quit smoking. I can't remember the brand name for it. And whatever.
I remember my ex. She used to have really bad agoraphobia, and I used to like get really angry at her when she'd have a panic attack. And like I'm thinking, just get the fuck over it. And then one day I had a panic attack. I was taking a nap, and I had a nap that my toddler like drowned in the bathtub. And so I legit had a panic attack and almost passed out. And I was just like, oh shit, I'm a dick. Like, panic attacks are a motherfucker.
Yeah, they really aren't nice when they start to happen.
Yep.
And the only way you can really stop them is to A, either ride them out, or B, try your hardest to focus on a single thing. The first time it ever happened to me, I was in a car park actually at the time, sat in my car, and I started having one. I was like, the fuck is that? I didn't know what it was. You know, I was sweating, my hands were all clammy as shit, I was breathing really rapidly, I was looking everywhere, and I was thinking to myself, why the fuck am I panicking? And I grabbed my phone, I frantically got my mum on the phone, and she went, you're having a panic attack. Try to focus on something in the car. And I did that, and a couple of minutes later it finally fucking stopped. But these panic attacks are very different. They're not big ones, they're all like they're loads of little ones. They're like it's like when your heart flutters, that kind of thing, but it lasts for a couple of minutes. And you sat there, you don't know what to do. You that's what, you know, Geek knows what I'm like. If I think someone has a problem with me, I'll go at them, right?
Yeah.
on Twitter. You know, it could have nothing to do with me as well. But I've been sat there, instead of going to speak to them, I'll just sit here, rocking backwards and forwards, thinking, someone's coming to get me. Someone's coming to get me. You know what I mean? Fucking panicking.
Yeah, like our big blowout on Twitter. Like after I like understood like the whole thing, I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's just kind of Irate Bear's thing, and you know, and then of course, like, you wanting to talk to me about it was even better, because, you know, I was like, oh well, I respect him too now, you know. So yeah, big ups to the Irate Bear.
If someone has a problem with me, I would really like them to talk to me about it. I like, you know, me and Adamantine had a little bit of a tiff not so long ago, didn't we, darling?
Yes, but it was our only one, and we quickly made up.
Yeah. I knew it was about me, so I went into your DMs and we had a good chat, didn't we?
I will say what he's referring to was my fault.
I still left that comment up of when the Irate Bear went into my video and like fucking shit talked me. I was just like, I'll leave that comment there. It was pretty good.
And they say I'm crazy. That's all I'm saying, man. Listen, I love this group though. It's like, you know, Bear, you know, it's like I appreciate your candor and stuff, because I think people out there need to hear, you know, people talking about their honest experiences, especially with this kind of stuff, because there's a stigma. I don't know about the UK, but in the United States, there's a stigma attached to, you know, especially if you're a man. You know, men are supposed to take care of their own shit. And sometimes, you know, we need help. And so the hardest thing that it can be to, you know, is to ask for help, especially when it comes to, you know, to getting help with, like, you know, it's like the whole fucking world has been black and white for about a year now. Why is that? You know, why is it that I can't laugh at anything? Or, you know, why is it that, you know, I'll be sitting there watching a fucking commercial about some dumb, you know, dog or some shit, and I'll start crying. You know, it's these things, you know, there's treatment out there, and sometimes it can be just, you know, just take just anything. All it needs is, you know, some some medicine. That's all. You know, some people need medicine and therapy. So that's really cool, man, and I appreciate you. You know, that's really hard for men, especially in the United States, to do, man. So, you know, it's good on you, brother. You know.
Thank you. I think I have maybe I'm too open. I don't know. Probably the most introverted extrovert you'll ever meet. I'm extremely extroverted, including with all of my feelings. A geek knows this, even though I don't go outside. I had the benefit of being raised by 3 women, and was bullied as a kid as well, quite badly, especially in middle school and early in high school. So I spoke to one of my bosses in the Navy, told me that he was doing a psychology degree outside, like night school outside of work. And he once sat me down and told me the reason why I'm such a gobshite, and that is because I was bullied as a kid. It's kind of like releasing everything because I was suppressed, if you get me. Didn't have the opportunity to do all the stupid shit that the rest of the kids did because I was being suppressed by other cunts. Which explains why I'm such a gobby prick now.
Yeah, see, I was bullied too, and I internalized it. I got the shit beat out of me for not, you know, standing up for myself and stuff. That's the way that, you know, that's my upbringing, was that, you know, you're supposed to fight and stuff, and I wasn't a fighter. I was, you know, I'm the exact opposite, and so I internalized a lot of stuff. You know, when you get beat for not beating somebody up, you know, that kind of fucks with your head a little bit. And, you know, and so I internalized a lot of, and then I realized, you know what? I hate all of these motherfuckers. You know, I hate everybody. And, you know, I went through that, you know, so yeah, I deal with anger a little bit differently than most people. You know, I tend to, you know, aim it inward. But yeah, I get pissed off like a motherfucker, man. And now you know, I can aim it, you know, I can deal it shit outward now. You know, it's not always internalized.
That's obviously better. But I'll just give up before Geek says anything. I just want to quickly say something about my own temper before I went on the medication. My temper is so bad, right? I was trying to get out of my bedroom and I knocked the door as I was trying to go out, and the door hit me in the head. Right? And it angered me that much that I stood right up to the door and put my face in the door as if the door was a person. you know, when you stand to with someone, when you go head to head and you're about to fucking start throwing punches, that's what I did to the door. I was like, you motherfucker.
I assaulted a V-neck t-shirt because sort of similarly. It was
you assaulted a V-neck t-shirt.
Yeah. Okay, so I had some V-neck t-shirts that I'd wear when I work out or whatever. And usually I'll wear like a t-shirt. It's a holdover from the military. So I wear a t-shirt. I wear a t-shirt underneath my shirts a lot. And so I go to put on a shirt. I'm kind of running late, and I find it's a V-neck shirt, and I was gonna wear a collared shirt. So it pissed me off, and like I'm like trying to pull it off, and I run into the door when I'm trying to pull the shirt off in anger. And then I end up grabbing the shirt and like trying to rip it, and I couldn't rip it, and it got me even more pissed off. So now it's just a stretched out fucking V-neck shirt. And I'm just like, motherfucker, you're never doing the fucking laundry again. Yelling at my girlfriends.
So you basically had a failed Hulk Hogan moment.
Yeah, it was terrible all around. I hurt myself. I fucking just stretched out a shirt. I didn't even tear it apart, and then I pissed my girlfriend off for the rest of the day.
It's funny. It's not funny at the time, though, is it?
Oh no, it wasn't funny at the time.
So I'll tell you what, if that door was a person, he'd got nutted. I'll tell you now. There was a time when I was like 17 or something. I was a cleaner, and I'm a fucking klutz, right? I'm clumsy as shit. And I was bent over scrubbing the carpet, and I stood up, and it was like these really posh offices and stuff, and they had a big flat screen on the TV. No, it's a big flat screen on the TV, a big flat screen on the wall. And as I stood up, I knocked the back of my head on the TV, Now, nothing fucks me off more than having the back of my head hit.
Oh, dude.
A slight tap and I will snap immediately, right?
Me too, man.
And I was like, I stood up and I went, "You motherfucking TV cunts!"
I fucking hate getting hit in the head, man. Jesus.
Like at the base of the skull, like we had this metal frame bed, and it had it had this big fucking backing on it, and I hit it like I thought my pillow was behind me. So I like kind of went back harder than usual, and I hit the base of my fucking skull, and I was so fucking mad. I turned around, kind of like what you did, but I'm like shaking the rails, and I'm like, I knock holes in the wall where the round metal posts were, and I'm like, and I'm even more pissed off, and I ended up destroying the bed. I threw all the metal parts outside the fucking box. The box and the box spring and mattress were just sitting on the floor in the middle of the room. And I went out to fucking Rooms to Go and bought a whole new bed frame. Like the next day, I was so fucking mad.
It's horrible, though, isn't it?
I've never had these anger issues, but I think that's because I just very frequently insult people. It gets the stress out.
Yeah, maybe I should do that more often, to be honest. Actually, that just made me angrier, actually.
I've been doing that more. That I think that's kind of helped me. Like Twitter and YouTube's helped me that way. Because like I don't really have those violent, like I'm gonna throw something on the ground moments or slam something against the wall, because I like have this outlet of Twitter and YouTube that when I feel frustrated or I feel angry about something, I get out there and I express my anger about something. Because generally I'm not angry. I'm not like angry at a specific person. It's just more of like, you know how disappointment will build up into you and you start to become angry about it. But now I don't really have that huge anger in me because I'm constantly able to tell people how I feel about something. And there are people that actually go, "Oh yeah, fuck that. I feel that way too." You know, so it's cathartic in a way.
Yeah. It's like, I call that balloon anger. It's like, every time you go, it's just like little incidents, you keep blowing the balloon up breath by breath, bigger and bigger and bigger. And then something small, like stubbing your toe or, somebody, burning toast or fucking shit up in the microwave. And you're just like fucking screaming and yelling and throwing shit, over nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, I broke a $150 gaming mouse once. I was just like, fuck my life.
Vanilla Bear's a lot like that, if you slight her, she'll hold on to that for a few days and she'll let it build up, and then on the third day, kaboom! And I'm like, what the fuck? Where the shit did that come from?
Yeah, she gets in her fucking DeLorean and drives back to when you offended her, like in 1985, and fucking brings all that baggage right back.
I'm like, holy shit!
That does seem to be a female kind of thing, doesn't it? Holding on to shit just for ever.
Yeah, you're like sitting there. Fuck, I thought I got away with that.
Remember 15 years ago on that night when you said I had a big ass, man? Blah blah blah. You was like, holy shit! Did I say that? It's like, yes, you did. God damn it!
Oh, the worst is when they call back shit you don't even remember.
That's my point exactly.
And I don't remember anything. Like, I can't remember what happened an hour ago, let alone what happened 3 days ago.
Me either, man.
Like short-term memory, dog shit. Long-term memory, amazing. I can remember being a baby. That's how good my long-term memory is. But I can't remember the shit that happened 3 fucking days ago. Like when I slighted her. Next thing you know, I've got a fucking Christmas tree thrown at me.
I get Loot Crate every month, and like of course I get the shirts. I fucking love the shirts. Like I can't even remember what shirt I put on. Like I'll be walking through a store and somebody will go, Green Lantern, and I'm like, I have to look down at my chest because I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even remember what shirt I put on.
Yes, it only gets worse, man. I'm just telling you.
It's funny because I can remember everything that happens online.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that we're just pushing out like all the valuable shit and just filling our heads full of all the dumb bullshit drama YouTube-y shit.
Useless. yes.
and getting really angry. Twitter does make me angry, though. It makes me fucking furious. But the last couple of weeks have been all right. I've been very calm, very calm and collected about things. Hardly tweeting, actually.
Yeah, the only thing that pisses me off is people taking cheap shots, and like people. It's not as much, like people making light or making fun of the way like maybe somebody looks or something. But if it's like, you take a person's like personal pain and shit and you make light of that, I just, man, that's just that there's got to be a line somewhere,
This isn't the Twitter you're looking for.
Well, no, it's like there's like, it's like kind of like the Whitey, Gemini thing. It's like, sometimes they go a little too far with some people, and you just gotta, I don't know. I just have to have a
that was the one thing that we didn't touch on today that we were supposed to. I know your thing was Gem. I think Whitey might actually be having some sort of meltdown.
What? Again?
His tweets are. They are just vicious.
Did I don't know. Did he block it? Because I don't remember seeing anything from
him. And Gemini do this though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen them before. I've seen it all before, but it's particularly. I mean, it's funny because generally he's attacking people I don't like. But but he tweeted out something today, and I thought as soon as I read it, I think he really means this. And what he tweeted out was, "The world is what you."
Oh
make
wow!
I choose to make it poison.
Oh my god, what's her name, liberal lunacy or whatever her name is, Shannon Gibbs. Race and disability, I'm good. Now if we were talking about disability race, count me in. But he said something about her nose is bigger than mine. Oh okay, he's talking about the Pink Power Ranger. Never mind.
I do like it when Gemini comes onto Twitter and he has digs at people that he knows follows him. And then the one night where I was sat there and I was watching him on Twitter and he came on, he fired shots at Jeff Holiday and he fired shots at a few other YouTubers. And then I got another notification come through and then Gemini said, right, that's enough fire started. See you later. It's such a cunt.
Well, and and everybody knows by now, that's the shtick and everything. Yes, and Sir Adamantine, I think some of this stuff is, I think they're trying to promote their podcast thing that they're planning on doing after the first of the year. I think that they're trying to set up some type of dramatic exit from YouTube.
I think you're kind of right, because I think because of the podcast that they've talked about, I don't think they really care about the people that would be watching them on Twitter now. They're going to be aiming for a larger, fairly slightly different audience.
Yeah, and how do you do that? How do you aim at an audience that you can't see? That's going to be an interesting challenge to see.
I don't know, but it does give you kind of free reign to tell everyone else to fuck off.
Oh, hold on. Are they they're doing it on iTunes, right? Because I think I caught part of it.
Yeah, they had mentioned that that's the most logical platform for them to launch their deal on. Yeah.
Well, okay. I used to run a podcast, and we actually did really good on iTunes. I mean, you definitely get the Apple audience through the the iTunes store. So I mean, you can get a lot of people depending on your initial heat that you get from it, but you're going to need to put that shit on SoundCloud, YouTube, any other medium that you can put it on. So like depending on where they're actually hosting it from, they're gonna for their iTunes feed, they're probably gonna have to probably the best thing that I found to use is to get a subscription to SoundCloud. So it's RSS feeds to YouTube directly, or not YouTube, but to iTunes directly.
Yeah, and something in T-Tax in the chat there, you say
tell them that T-Tax.
iTunes and YouTube, I think, And IRATE prostate. What's this got to do? What are you saying?
IRATE prostate.
Just,
May I please have a wrench?
May you have a please?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, just for the stream. If you don't want to keep me, well, I just need to do something.
Put your name out there.
I just did it for you.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
G. Bronner, he says I always sound like a Best Buy salesman.
No, I was going to say, T-Tac, that you know, you're tight with Whitey and Gemini and everything, man. They kind of like worship you, man, because you are a talented dude. You are very talented, and I think you're very creative, man. And I think you should make more shit. But that's my opinion. I don't know, when you obviously, you know, hurt a girl's feelings, you know, and you make fun of her size, you know, her weight maybe, or, you know, some kind of aspect about their, you know, physicality that they can't control, and they, you know, and they kind of react like, hey man, that hurt, you know. I think, you know, I don't know about you, but I would apologize for that. You know, there's nothing weak in apology, especially when it's sincere. I think it can make you look like a bigger person.
I apologize to Base Mama for being wrong about the stream thing, and I detest her. I mean,
I know the tweets you're referring to, IRATE, but there was actually a Chairview had a fundraiser for Opal a few weeks ago, and what they said on there makes that look like nothing.
Well, yeah, and I can understand that, but people are different, and they're going to take that, you know, that type of stuff differently, man.
Well, you know who you can bust balls with and who you can't, and like that's always been my general rule.
Well, but like, I mean, if you don't know somebody, should you bust their balls?
No. Like I typically I won't do that.
Even if you think you know them on YouTube, because that's what kind of what we've been talking about all day.
Was
like,
this somebody that they knew like directly?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
no.
So I wouldn't necessarily be making fun of the girl, but like if it was somebody I knew, like, or I felt like I knew them well enough that I could bust their balls, I do that. Or if there's somebody putting the shit out there, like they're like attacking somebody or saying some fucked up shit, then I'll say some fucked up shit to them to go, you like your own medicine?
Exactly. You know? See, and that's the kind of you know, that's the kind of way I react to stuff. You know, it's like sometimes, you know, I've reacted to a couple of things that happened. You know, I had to take back, you know, sit back and then talk, you know, confer with a couple of people, because, you know, it's like when somebody wishes that you were dead and you've actually, you know, were close to death, you know, a couple of years ago around this time of year, it kind of fucks with your head a little bit. And, you know, and I had to counsel somebody, but I realized, you know, man, that's, you know, that's just kind of how, you know, that's the shtick. And you know, the way to deal with it is just to, you know, you kind of punch back, and they, you know, that's the kind of way it goes. It's, you know, it's kind of a game. And, you know, once you realize that, then you can play. But some people just don't respond to that correctly. You know, some people were fucking bullied, you know, and this brings all that shit back up, you know. It's like my quote about Twitter and YouTube is like, this is the place where you can be everybody that you hated in high school.
Like a good example is Thrax Saber Scales. Do you guys know who Thrax is?
Yeah, the one who's being called a pedophile by Liz and Zeph now.
Yeah, and they're like, prove it, citation needed. I'm like, I've seen it. I don't need to prove it to you. You know it's true. But like Thrax, me and Thrax always had a problem because he was a little white knighty for Liz and her crew, and so I'd always pop in the chat and I'd fuck with Thrax relentlessly, you know, just because I can't stand a white knight. And so eventually I find out, you know, Thrax is autistic, and supposedly, and this is public, this isn't something that he told me in private. We actually had this discussion in the chat, and he was like explaining like his mental state. And I was like, all right, so I'm not gonna fuck with Thrax anymore. And then I just kind of made peace with Thrax, and it was just like, you know, I'm just, you know, trying to bust your balls. You know, I don't have any hate towards you or anything.
But by the way, just to clarify, G. Brunert in the chat, I'm not saying he's a pedophile. I'm saying that Liz and Zeph are insinuating something to that effect.
They were saying things like you need to keep your Google Plus account private, and then they were like tweeting things about him talking to little dragons, you know.
Yeah, I need to clarify something real quick, guys. Excuse me. T-Tac, no, I didn't imply. I was, if it came across that I was implying that T-Tac was part of any of that shit, he was not. Okay. I just, what I said was he's just friends with those guys, and he would have been helpful in this conversation to kind of, talk about, where they're coming from and their stick and everything. That's all I meant, T-Tac. It was not anything personal or any, no, man, I'm friends with you, man. And, we do our Friday thing when we can. So no, dude, not at all. Just make sure.
I like T-Tac.
Yeah, me too, man. I don't know anybody that doesn't like T-Tac.
T-Tac's
I demand a new song.
T-Tac's an uber cunt.
He's a talented
uber cunt.
Uber cunt.
We straight now, brother? Let me know. All right. So,
I love T-Tac. I'm just kidding. I know how things get all twisted around.
Fuck you, geek. Stop pandering.
Is he busting you were busting my nuts, you piece of shit. I'm coming for you, man. That's all.
Hey, Ghastly.
Look, your chat's haunted or something.
Yeah, Gasly's been hanging out, man. He's been scoping this deal, man. He's sopping he's sopping it up, dude. He's
Irate.
He's making a list. Yes.
Irate, you and Ghastly are the only two people who call me Alex.
Is that okay? Yeah,
of course it's okay. It's in my Twitter bio.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's who you are to me, dude.
Cool.
When I talk to you, I think I'm talking to a person, not an actual bear, like some people.
I think I'm talking to a bear.
Oh, see, he's not a bear?
See, I told you.
Let Adamantine live.
Fuck this, man. He's not a real bear. I thought I was fucking making some headway with the Ursas.
No, as dorky as it sounds, when people have an avatar, that really is. I mean, obviously, I know that's not what they are, but that really
giant fucking octopus.
That really is what I think of them like.
I'm not able to hold my own form outside of fucking liquid.
Well, I mean, you gotta have a mental image of a person, and if that's what they present, that's what you're gonna think of them like.
Yeah. I also found out recently, because I didn't know this. You know how the gay community has specific names to give to people with certain body types.
Unfortunately, Max Burr has clued me in.
There's bears, there's otters, there's twinks. Well, apparently, I am not a bear in the gay community. I am a bull.
Oh.
Because I'm big, but I'm not hairy.
Oh. Well, I'm definitely a bear then.
Yeah,
definitely. Except on my head. We have the same.
I don't have a lot of hair.
We have the same haircut, Alex.
Oh, skinhead.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Triplets.
In parts, not.
Yeah.
In places, not by choice.
Schoolboy seems to disagree with you being a bull.
Who?
Schoolboy.
Oh, bitch! You ain't no bull.
Schoolboy. Well, it doesn't matter. His opinion doesn't count.
That was some sassy. Oh, bitch!
Are we playing
fucking hell! I did it again. My fucking
he fell backwards in his chair.
No. My microphone stand fell out of its stand again.
Uh-oh. It has a serious drinking problem, man. You need to just quit letting
Quick, everyone, donate. He needs a new boomerang.
As an avid member of the gay community, look, I was told by Miastra that I am a bull because I'm big and I'm not hairy.
Like, what is the amount of hair that you have to be considered a bear?
I don't know. I imagine a considerable amount.
Do you have to have back hair?
No, I have no back hair.
No, but do you have to have back hair to be a bear?
I don't know. Surely then, if they do have back hair, they're a badger.
A badger?
Probably.
The only person that can definitively answer any of these questions is sitting.
We need a gay.
Is sitting mute over here.
You're only half
Well,
gay.
no, you got a gay here, but I don't get into that sort of. I don't get into a scene.
You don't play those game deer games.
Maxper was telling me things about like handkerchiefs that hang out of your pocket, like different colored ones mean different things to the gay community.
Yeah, like yellow means when there's like golden showers and stuff, and red means
the only time my lifestyle isn't straight is when I'm in bed.
I only present in the bedroom.
Well, then you know, and you know what?
Or on Twitter.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right.
That was a conversation killer, wasn't it?
Sorry. My microphone stand won't go back in properly.
Oh, Bubba, you gotta.
I need the Whiffy Woo to come here.
The Whiffy Woo. That would be Vanilla Bear.
Indeed.
The lovely Vanilla Bear. And now,
is she gonna stream more? I found her entertaining with her streams. I liked her paranormal streams.
She's very funny, but she has to talk slow when she's with me, because when she gets going fast, and especially if she's got a little bit of booze in her, she goes fast. I mean, she starts talking fast, and I'm like, holy, what?
Right.
I was digging her paranormal stream.
Can you get it, please?
I'm horrible with those thick northern accents, man. I'm horrible with it.
Why do I expect to hear a big crash sometime in the near future in the background?
That's right. She's currently bent over in front of me. She's on her knees. Even a more pleasant sight if your husband looking at your wife. I'm just going to touch her bum quickly. It went under there. Woman. What are you doing? Why are you holding that? Get off it. Yeah, I know it's broken.
While she's under the desk, you just got to pull your dick out and just let it lay there on the side.
I have done that before. I'll just get it out and I'll put it on her forehead.
Boom, chicka bow wow, boom, chicka bow wow, 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 boom, chicka bow wow.
It is down there. Where's my torch?
On your phone.
Oh, give us it here.
Oh, AP liked my going in on Jeff.
No, AP the frog is in the fucking. Oh my god!
I thought I did pretty good against Jeff. I thought I did pretty good, taking the piss out of him.
Yeah.
There it is. With red. On the left. Left. Yeah. Thank you. Right, can you sort it for me? Because I'm spasticated. Sorry, guys. You can mute me if you want.
No, this is highly entertaining.
This is the most entertaining thing I've heard all day.
Get up. On your feet, sailor. Right.
Okay, I'm going to say all hail Blue Whale for everybody in the.
Right, it goes in the back of that.
The blue whale is a false prophet. You all are following a false god.
I'm helping.
Man, you will be ejected if any more of that comes out of your mouth. All hail Blue Whale.
I'm the only god that lives in the ocean.
Put a little krill on that butthole.
It's gonna go.
It's not gay if it's the whale.
It's moved.
I can't ever bow down to the fright supremacy.
Oh, hail Blue Whale.
Oh, hail Blue Whale. Krill's in there.
I'm a Thulu. I gotta support my big bro. Thulu.
You pat your crap.
What's the matter?
AP, if I refer to Ghastly as gas bag, will that piss him off?
Stop it.
Fright supremacy.
I in my Discord, I created their own little group, whale cultists, and threw Ghastly in there.
God, I am so retarded with that damn thing, man. The Discord, God.
So if there's anybody in my Discord that's a whale cultist, just do hashtag whale cultist, and I'll throw you in with all the other dirty whale cultists.
That's funny.
All right, Bass Trap Caleb, BTK, as I'd like to call you. Do you want me to read that out loud? I supposedly have a Streamlabs, and I cannot find it. Everyone, I go back on it. I do not know. Well, Kayla, if you want to just put it out here on the thing, I'll read it out loud for the record.
I suppose I better go, gents. I've got ghost poo in 20 minutes.
Oh, fantastic! And
Yes.
we'll make sure, hey, dude, we'll make sure we'll wrap up so everybody can get.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it, dude. You know, competition and all that.
I don't want to. I don't want to step on any friends' toes. I'm not like that. I likes to play fair.
Free market competition.
I'm just trying to be a nice guy.
Fair enough. Well, that's up to you, dude. Thank you very much for the invitation. IRATE Prostate, good talking to you. And you, Adamantine, not you, Geekthulhu. You're a terrible person.
Always a pleasure, man.
I was gonna tell you I love you, and whenever you're done with Vanilla Bear, I'm here for you, boo.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm happy with that. Okay, guys, I'll see you later.
All right, brother. Love you, man. Tater.
Love you long time. Sucky, sucky, $5. Cheerio.
Hug the woman for me.
Check the group chat if you would, all right?
All right, check the group chat. Let's see. Fright Supremacy says the movement grows. All Thulus will know the power of Al-Hud Al-Azim.
No.
Nothing for you here, says worshiping myself would be just weird. Hashtag Fright Power. Schoolboy says base crap trap. Kayla says, yep. Alfred Keith, Thulus eat whales for lunch.
That's right.
G. Bronert B. LMAO at Jack of All. Well, nothing for you here, nothing eats universes, as we all know what happened to Fantasia. Bronert, nothing for you like Putin does. G. Bronert, see ya, Bear. And Irate Bear, Shadowlay, see ya. That's from the Shadow Cat. G. Bronert, it's weird. Lunar Horizon says, bye, Bear. Schoolboy, we need some fucking facts to explain the gay community to these hetero peoples.
Yeah, he never did tell us if Bear's not a bull, what is he?
Well, Red and Only, I was there for Prostate's live conversation to the whale. She was. Not conversion. That's correct.
Oh,
she was
Lord.
there. She was present for my conversion to the cult of the blue whale. And it was quite an emotional experience for me. I did cry, and I did see colors. It was,
you saw colors.
It was the best non-hallucinogen induced buzz I've had. Well, besides getting naked with a woman. Let's see. His portraits are hilarious. Did they do? Or where am I? Fright Power Geek. Me and you and me. The time has come.
Oh, Lord.
It looks like Ghastly is stalking you, Holmes. Jagan says, all hail Jagan Khan. He was talking about that earlier. Sir Adamantine, how are you, bud? That says the Blue Penguin. Macolium is all the mighty one. He will reclaim his realm from all false prophets at the Geekthulhu. Sir Adamantine, Blue King Penguin. I'm doing sober but good. Yes, Sir Adamantine has gone now at least 3 hours almost sober, completely sober. This may be a YouTube record. Fright Supremacy is the right supremacy, says Shadow Cat. Sir Adamantine, nice. Blue Penguin says.
Yeah, it's going to be weird to actually remember what I said on the stream after the fact.
Red and Only Geek on Fright Supremacy or DAB. They won't geek on there. All right, guys, you got that?
I don't think I've ever been on the show. I got an invite to a show, but I didn't go. I can't remember what it was. I think I was on like a super long fucking podcast or show with like Tonka and Failure, and I was just like, I can't do it.
You will resist the whale. Oh man. So Macolium says, IRATE Prostate, there is a reason they call it a cult. White supremacy IRATE is taking a step toward approaching entanglement. Yes, you know, we might need to look at some kind of structure and even certification. I would like a certificate saying I'm a priest of the Blue Whale. I want to be a priest.
Yeah, you guys got to have ranks. Like in my little religion, I got acolytes, I got prophets, I got arbiters, the dark one, which is myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gotta have some structure here.
I'm somewhere in that. I'm near the bottom there.
You're a prophet.
Oh, thank you.
Unless you're a dirty whale cultist, and then I'll just move you over.
I'm torn. Oh, you can't do that to me, man. I've got to have my wellness.
Base trap Kayla. She turned in her prophet for being a whale cultist.
She did.
Oh yeah.
Where did BTK go? There she is. In the beginning, there was a whale. Under the old laws, the whale was deemed an equal of Kek. Yeah.
So you guys are just evolved cringe lords then?
All hail the whale. Cringe lords.
Yeah, that's what Kek is.
That's a deep accusation. I don't know. I don't know if that hurts or not.
Be better than the Kekistanis.
Yeah, that was whatever happened to Kekistan.
It got cringy.
It got cringy. Yes, it did. Okay.
So I'll give AP and Ghastly big ups for creating their own thing in trying to take the cringe away, because they're actually funny. And most people from Kekistan either have autism or Asperger's and have no social ability to socialize.
So Kekistan has been branded cringy.
Yeah. Cringy.
Cringy. TM. Cringy. It's cringy, cringy. It's cringy. Cringy, 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 cringy. And so is that. Lucy Q says it's just a love fest. It is. Nothing for you here. Kek is an ancient Egyptian deity. We all know that.
Really?
Research actual stuff. Modern Kekistan did go overboard, though. And he agrees with that. Schoolboy, IRATE prostate, Sir Adamantine. I did answer what IRATE bear would be. And what is that, Schoolboy? Vanilla Bear says, hey, at Tema the Hun. And Tema the Hun says, howdy at Vanilla Bear. Nothing for you here. Kek was originally about drinking and sex. Sounds fun. At least, definitely the sex part.
Okay, so Kek in mythology. It's about ancient Egyptian mythology. Kek, also Kuk, is the deification of the concept of God, I can't talk. Primordial darkness in ancient Egyptian Agoda cosmology.
Cosmology, yeah.
Cosmology.
Cosmology.
Of Hermopolis. The Ogadad consists of 4 pairs of deities, 4 male gods paired with their 4 female counterparts.
That's old shit, man.
Kek's female counterpart was Coquette. Kek and Coquette in some aspects represent night and day, and were called the Raiser of the Light and the Raiser Up of the Night, respectively. The name written as KK or KKWY with the variant sky hieroglyphics in ligature with the staff associated with the word darkness.
Cool. And was it a frog?
In oldest representations, Kekui is given the head of a serpent, and Kekuet is given the head of either a frog or a cat. In one scene, they are identified as Ka and Kate. In the scene, Ka Keku is the head of the frog surmounted by a beetle, and Kate Kekuet has the head of a serpent surmounted by a disc.
Is this what playing Magic the Gathering feels like?
Probably. I did not know about this.
Oh my God, his timing is fucking perfect, man. That was badass. God damn.
I did not. Okay. In the Greco-Roman period, Kek's male form was depicted as a frog-headed man, and the female form as a serpent-headed woman, as were all four dualistic concepts in. Oh, how did I say that? Do they have the pronunciation here? No, they do not. Fuck. But I did not know that. Thank you for the information. I like finding new informations.
Yeah, I want to say, Mercolium, sweet dreams, brother, and we will see you later for sure. And you know what? This seems like maybe a good time to go ahead and close it out and leave on a higher note. That way we won't sink all the way to and start, telling fart jokes and stuff like that. Y'all good with that?
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna hang out on my Discord for a bit. So if you all want to come over there and
all right, cool. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something later tonight too, if we feel like it. Y'all down with that shit?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Well, I have a date with the liquor store, so I'm not sure whether or not I'll be conscious.
Okay, brother. Well, we're gonna talk for a minute afterwards anyway. So let's do this thing. We'll go ahead and end the broadcast now. Thank everyone that came. And everyone that tried to use Streamlabs, thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure. This is IRATE Prostate on another whipped cream, and I'm saying prostate out.